This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. The road officially ends tonight in San Antonio, Texas. And for the second time in a matter of months, good evening, everybody, and welcome in to another C2C Watch Along. Alongside that man, James Gonzales, up in Oceanside, California. Yours truly, Callan McClurg, joining you in studio in San Diego on what is right now a beautiful Monday night here in San Diego, April 7, 2025. But more importantly, just a few minutes away from the 2025 NCAA Division I men's basketball national title game from the Alamodome down in San Antonio as the Florida Gators take on the Houston Cougars with the whole enchilada on the line. Big game, James. We finally made it, my friend, to the end of the road in San Antonio. Good to see you, my friend, and I'm ready to go for this, man. This is going to be awesome tonight. Good to see you. How's it going tonight?
Yeah, just couldn't believe what happened on Saturday, of course, with Houston getting there. Really thought Duke was going to get there tonight. But there's so much online. There's so much at stake right here for this national championship with both coaches, both teams, the way that they got here. It's just going to be so interesting. I think we'll dive into that.
So, folks, a quick rundown of our game plan here for the watch along tonight. We will not, sadly, be showing the actual game on screen, as you probably know very well, due to copyright laws. We cannot do that. So we are pulling off a bit of a jerry-rigged system today. I have the stream for the game on CBS on my laptop down below in front of me, so you might see me be looking down a little bit as we kind of go along here. I'm sure James probably has a feed up too in his studio somewhere, so we're going to do our absolute best to bring you commentary as the game goes on. But as usual, we want your live input, though. So if you are, in fact, joining us live, maybe you might be ahead of us with the stream that you may be watching on TV or your own stream. But please give us your comments. Questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, cold takes, all that good stuff, folks. We're for a good time tonight. So we're going to be here, as mentioned, from right now until tip-off, through halftime, post-game, and then we'll go from there as well. But again, we want to get very interactive with you folks. So again, if you have any thoughts to pass along during the game, again, hit up the live chat box. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, and also live via the Callan Sports Twitch channel. We invite everybody to come and join us here tonight as we talk all things March Madness and also as we watch along the national title game from San Antonio. All right, James, let's kind of dive into some pregame talk here, my friend. Again, Florida taking on Houston from San Antonio at, again, 5:50 local time, Pacific time here in San Diego. Let's first, James, talk about Florida. Out of the SEC, this will mark the fourth national title game appearance for the Gators, and their first one, James, since 2007 as they seek their third national title, being led by new head coach Todd Golden, who becomes only the second Gators head coach to reach the title game as they knocked off Auburn in the Final Four, 79-73, led by Walter Clayton Jr.'s 34 points, 17 points too for Elijah Martin, and 12 points out of Thomas Haig, or Haug, I should say, as well. So, James, let's kind of talk about Florida first here, man. Again, new coach in place, as we already mentioned with Todd Golden. Again, leaving San Francisco for Florida. Fourth time that they've made it to the final game, and their first time since 2007, and going for their third national title. James, any small thoughts about maybe the early kind of notes here that we have gathered about Florida this season? Again, coming out of the SEC and how they really had a very great season and probably their first notable year, I would say, in men's college basketball in quite a long time.
Yeah, Todd Golden, 39 years of age. He would be, I think, the second youngest to win a national championship since Jimmy Valvino with NC State in 1983. So that's something to look out for. Florida all year long through the SEC, through the gauntlet of the SEC, did fairly well, and they only lost 3 times. So they did well there. Walter Clayton Jr., it's fitting that he scored 34 in the national semifinal game. I even heard Ian Eagle say sweetness when he made his first shot, so that was great. That's my favorite football player of all time, so it's great. But yeah, they've had other guys step up as well, and I think they're the deepest team in the nation. I mean, that was the whole reason why they got here. From day one, people were hyping them up, and I didn't really catch it until maybe January. Everybody was on the Duke train, everybody was on Auburn, but you kind of knew the deeper you are, the better that you're going to end up playing the game. And it was Auburn's time to finally, peter out and step out. They just didn't have the type of talent that Florida had. So, and you'll notice Walter Clayton Jr., everybody keeps thinking of comping the same comp, right? As of Kimball Walker going on a scoring run like they are. But for me, he's almost reminded me of Jalen Brunson, the way that he's on this tear and the way that Jalen Brunson can do that on the next level. And Clayton Jr. is right there with him. I feel like, at least comparing the numbers and the way he can get shots up. But they were saying Kemba, they were saying, oh gosh, there was somebody else with UConn back in the day, but
Ray Allen, maybe, perhaps?
No, point guards, though, because Ray was a shooting guard. So, just someone who could just get it off but can also dish, and that's what Walter Clayton Jr. can do. And they just, Gators have been a force, like you mentioned. First time they've been here since 2007. I remember watching that.
Joe Noah being on the scorers table, giving the chomp.
Yeah. All those guys, Corey Brewer. And then in the year 2000, Billy Donovan got him there for the first time, and in 2006 as well. So it's a long time coming for all these Florida new fans that haven't seen their university make it, the younger ones. It's a really good story. And, man, like I said, I was late to the party, but I can see why they were hyped up all year long.
Saying hello to our good man, Gabe Jackson, on YouTube. Again, folks, this is the C2C Watch Along with Callan McClurg and James Gonzales. We're roughly, I just checked the CBS stream. We still got about 11 minutes to go, I believe, till they get to the national anthem. And the starting lineup's going to be introduced, I believe, by Ian Eagle, if not by Eric Smith, who's the PA voice of the NCAA Final Four down in San Antonio tonight. But again, we will kind of reestablish our ground rules a little bit later about how the stream is actually going to work out this evening. But, James, you brought up, though, Walter Clayton Jr., first-team All-American, West Regional MOP. School records, by the way, James, he set this season. 702 points for the season and 123 points in the tournament so far. And how about a three-pointer made in a school record, 61 straight ball games? So, James, I believe that this is going to be a guy, though, that if you are, in fact, Houston, you're going to have to clamp down and keep at bay tonight in this ball game.
Yeah, strategy-wise, defensively, I was thinking, since yesterday, with guarding Walter Clayton Jr. And Calvin Sansom mentioned this pregame that there was no stopping him. You could just hope that you could contain the others. And Auburn had a hard time doing that with a couple of other guys. Well, they stopped one guy that didn't do as well, but didn't get his point average. But if you stop Walter Clayton Jr. at least under 30, you feel like you have a good chance. Houston, as we saw, and we'll talk about, they have the opportunity to, stop anybody in an amount of time. But they have a big task at hand to stop Walter Clayton Jr. But if you hold him on 30 again, you have a real chance. The thing is, too, if you're able to stop him early and get his confidence off, that will be big for the Cougars.
Absolutely, for sure, James. Kind of want to recap real quick the Florida tournament run so far. First round, blowing out Norfolk State, led by 32 at one point, 21 offensive rebounds, leading to 24 second chance points. They, of course, knocked out the defending champion UConn Huskies in round two, led by a balanced effort from their senior backcourt, a Sweet 16 victory over Maryland. James, how about this, though? Finishing that game over the Terps, plus 22 in rebounding. I think if you do that, you're winning a lot of ball games. More importantly, James, how about 15 of those rebounds in the with that margin, 15 on the offensive glass? So the Gators really, I think, James, make their money, it seems like, by offensive rebounding the daylights out of the opposition.
Yeah, not only are they deep, but they're tall inside. Especially when you do that in a tournament game and you get to control the pace of the game, it looms large. And it would have been interesting to see if Florida could do that with Duke, but Duke didn't make it.
And also in the Elite Eight, they closed down Texas Tech on an 18-4 run with key threes by being made by Thomas Haig and by Walter Clayton Jr. And, of course, they knocked off Sir Charles's alma mater, Auburn, the other number one seed in that part of the bracket, to go on to the national title. Also, some other footnotes real quick for Florida. SEC champs, first time they won the conference in 11 seasons, dating back to 2014. They also set a tournament record by putting up 104 points versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Also, James, more importantly, road wins at Bama and at Auburn. And how about the Gators? Not one, but two number one victories over Tennessee and Auburn in the same season.
That just shows you the path that they've had to, go through. It was golden for them, thank God. But and good you caught that. Yeah. That just shows how tough they are. I mean, everybody's talking about how tough Houston is. We'll get to them, but it shows that Florida has gone through the gauntlet as well.
So a lot of great things for Florida here tonight. Key players to watch, by the way: Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, Will Richard, Thomas Haig, Alex Condon, and Denzel Aberdeen. Got to keep an eye on those gentlemen as time goes on, as we get ever so closer to tip-off here on the C2C Watch Along of the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball National Title Game from a sold-out and loud Alamodome down in San Antonio, Texas, as we get close to the official introductions and the national anthem, hopefully within the next, I'd say, 10 minutes or so, as CBS is right now getting back into literally going into the Alamodome right now, as we mentioned earlier. Before we, folks, get into Houston again, want to kind of reiterate what we're doing here once more for the watch along again, due to, as we probably know very well, with copyright infringement, again, we cannot actually show you the game live on screen. So as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we have the game stream on my end via my laptop. James has his as well. So we're not going to be giving you a full-fledged, Iron Eagle, CBS, play-by-play. We're going to do our best to do that in a way, but also engaging with you. So again, if you're going to be joining us live on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, again, please hit up the live chat box. And again, we'll do our absolute best to get to that commentary as we do have time throughout the course of our show here this evening. So James, from Florida, now to the other half of the bracket, my friend, Houston, who knocked out the Duke Blue Devils on Saturday night to move on and basically have themselves a home game here playing in San Antonio from their home in Houston. But, of course, James, the Cougars trying to get or win their first national title after they were last here 41 years ago with Phi Slamma Jamma in 84, led by head coach Kelvin Sampson, who now has gotten Houston to 6 straight Sweet 16 appearances. And, of course, they knocked out Duke in the Final Four with a late-game comeback, led, of course, James, by Jamal Shedd, who was a first-team All-American and a veteran point guard known for his clutch play and elite on-ball defense. So, James, of course, we all, in a way, have learned about Phi Slamma Jamma. We have, learned about Hakeem Olajuwon and that group that led the Cougars to their last national title appearance in 84. And I think, James, Kelvin Sampson and Todd Golden are probably the two most under-the-radar coaches leading these two teams into battle here in roughly, I'd say, about 20 minutes or so coming up from Texas. But, James, overall thoughts maybe on Kelvin Sampson, but also on this Houston team going forward and trying to get that first ever championship after, as we already had mentioned, first time being back here since 84.
Okay, Kelvin Sampson, 30 years older than Todd Golden at 69 years of age, looking for his first national championship title. The story of trying to get the Cougars back and popular and people going to games. I just saw the video again today. In 2016, he was trying to get students on campus to get to go to games. And that was all the way back then. And look where they are now. Look what they have built up. You've had players that could have transferred maybe for more money, more starting time, but you've had players buy in, and those stories have, come around all through the tournament here on the March Madness segments, Confidential, I think it was called. So he has 799 coaching wins and 200 and I think 99 were at Houston, if that was right. I remember him at Indiana, trying to get that right, and they still haven't been the same. I think of Houston. I also think of, Elvin Hayes back in 1968. But yeah, it all goes back to Philly, the Slamma Jamma in the 80s. And I think they lost to Georgetown in that 84 final.
Sounds about right.
It was Ewing and Elijah. And little did we know, 10 years later, they would meet in the NBA Finals. But, yeah, Houston, they've just had a tough they've been through a gauntlet, too, but it's just whomever they played. They've had the ability to make comebacks. They've had the ability to just clamp down and defend. I mean, I thought it was over on Saturday. They were down so much at the half and going into the second half, and
yeah, it was a major hole, and somehow, some way, they clawed out of it, and it looked like, James, as the build up to the comeback starts. I think it kind of goes to their defense, though. I think they were forcing Duke into a lot of bad situations, and sure enough, it paid off.
Yeah, they only scored one field goal in I think 10 and a half minutes. Did Duke? And they finally got a 3 late, and they kept the door open. Did Duke? Missed some free throws down the line. I still don't know if that's a loose ball foul and Cooper flag that gave Houston the opportunity to make 2 free throws. And when I heard about who was shooting the free throws, it was a 56% free throw shooter who made both of them to give them the lead. And they would, of course, later hang on to come here tonight. And it was just such a what a moment just to get Duke out, which I had them winning, of course, and
as
others did. And it's not even worth looking, I guess, at the bracket now. But yeah, give us, the run they've had.
Yeah, let's go to the run real quick. I wanted to first mention Jamal Shed, 18.7 assists in the victory for Houston over Duke. LJ Cryer, who's also been this has been a two-headed monster for the Cougs, 14 points and also 14 offensive rebounds. So both teams love the offensive rebounding side of the ball. More importantly, James, that run you talked about, though, again, knocking out Duke in the Final Four. Let's go all the way back, though, James, to round 1 for the Cougars. Again, they blew out Vermont, 12 steals and 27 fast break points for the Cougars in round 1. Second round, they knocked out St. Mary's by including a 16 second-half points by L.J. Cryer in that second half. They also knocked out Illinois in the Sweet 16, holding them to 1 for 13 from beyond the arc, and eventually they knocked out Baylor, having to also come back in that ballgame with Emmanuel Sharp chipping in 21 points in that game as well for Houston. A couple of quick highlights real quick, James, for the Cougars. Big 12 regular season champs, 30 wins on the year, 4 losses on the season. And also, James, more importantly, unbeaten this year at home. Also getting road wins at Kansas, or a road win at Kansas, Texas, and Iowa State in double overtime, and 27 NCAA tournament wins since 2018, most in the nation at this time. So, James, out of all those numbers, though, James, I think I recall, though, watching Houston make that late game comeback, because they were down in that game against Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. That kind of, James, made me think, though, these are the cardiac Cougars. That we kind of talked a bit about them having these late game comebacks, again, like versus Duke. I think it really began right there, where I think, James, their season went back on track with them, I think, pulling off that upset win at Kansas, though, where, again, they were behind late. It was a game, game tying 3. The game goes to overtime. They foul out Hunter Dickinson fouls out of that game. So, James, maybe probably in your mind, is that the game where probably Houston kind of maybe clicked or got things to click finally and got themselves back on track to where they're at now, one win away from a national championship?
To me, I thought it was a passing of the torch. Just the way Kansas did not show up for games this year in that Big 12 schedule, and Houston did. It was just that key in that game to win in a hostile environment like that. It's always a tough place to play at the field house, but they did it. And it just led to a belief system that, hey, we can beat anyone at any time. And it happened with Duke there. And, and going back to that game, Callan, I feel like maybe Duke together didn't know how to play in a situation like that, where they had it easy all year long. And finally, when it came down to making free throws, not turning the ball over, they didn't do that. And in the Final Four, and that was the biggest thing. So, credit to, Houston to take advantage of that. Not giving Duke an excuse, but it happens, though.
National anthem has been performed inside the Alamodome in San Antonio as we now sit a mere 8 minutes away from the opening tip of Florida in Houston for all the marbles in San Antonio. James, again, it's a great spectacle to see the Final Four and now to see the national title. I know that it's at a Giants football stadium again in San Antonio with the Alamodome. But James, what does the Final Four and the national title game mean to you as a basketball fan? Because I think it's about the pageantry. It's a sellout stadium. You've got fans from all over the country, maybe from around the world, who are at this game. Obviously, it's the two, national semifinalists playing, all the Florida fans. I wonder, though, James, if this feels more like a Houston home game for the fact they have to, make the drive from Houston down to San Antonio for this ball game.
Yeah, two things I've noticed. There's no curtain at the Alamodome. They literally have it like if they were playing the Alamo Bowl for a
or if UTSA
game.
had a home football game.
But it wouldn't be that crowded. It wouldn't be sold out like it is here. That's just amazing to see. I mean, the Spurs never did that. They always had a curtain, and it just shows you how big the spectacle is. And it also tells you whoever has those seats way up top in the corner needs binoculars. And that's an old thing to have, but you must have them today watching that game. But it means elevated courts. It was weird seeing that in the Sweet 16 Elite 8, I think in Indy, where they previously had the Final Four in 21.
Did they have was the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, correct me if I'm wrong, was it at Gamebridge, or did they have it at Lucas Oil Stadium?
Lucas Oil Stadium. They had it the same design as if they had the NBA All-Star Saturday. They had the same design where they took it to one side of the, sideline of the football field and the seats going down. But it was just weird seeing elevated floors in the Sweet 16 Elite 8. That should only be for, the Final Four and the national championship.
Agreed.
But it also means everybody's coming from the campuses. The tickets in some places are 50-50. I just think about, when the last time Houston was in the championship, they played in Albuquerque and however many that held. And that was a big game.
Probably 18 or 20,000 people, I would assume.
Yeah, but look at that. This is what?
Now all of a sudden you got 70,000 people in the Alamodome ready to watch the final game of the year.
It just shows you expansion. It shows you a lot of people are making money. And then it's amazing, though, to see the spectacle. And I guess it's good you have these kids getting paid for once through all this. But it also means all the hard work that you put into a whole season, all the drills you go through. You saw what Houston goes through. I don't know when they did those rebounding fights, I call them, or rumbles, but that's an old school tactic. I heard, Tom Izzo use football equipment back in the day. He said he couldn't do that now, but he used to do that with his Spartans back in 2000. But Houston, you saw work really hard for loose balls in practice, and you just see how much it translated to here and the reason that they got here. And Florida's just been deep all year, and they've just been a lot of fun to watch. They're doing the starting lineups here. Alex Condon's going to have a big game there, forward number 21. He didn't have a good Final Four game, but they had enough to get it done. Was that Ruben Chinyu? He's going to be big, number 9. He's a good defensive player there. Of course, I thought they would introduce him last, but Walter Clayton Jr., number 1 in everybody's minds and on his
giant
uniform.
sea of blue with all those Florida fans seeing the camera kind of pan and scan by the Florida sideline and the Florida bench as starting lineups are now being introduced to the crowd at the Alamodome. We're probably about 3 minutes away from the opening tip of tonight's ball game. Florida and Houston, C2C Watch Along here, Callan McClurg and James Gonzales. As a reminder, folks, we are once again, due to copyright rules in place, we cannot actually show you the game live on screen or on the air here on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. We can, though, do our best to kind of, in a way, jerry-rig it. Again, as James and I said, we're doing it via our own separate viewing screens on our desks here. So James might be a bit ahead of me, or vice versa. But regardless, the top or the Florida starters have been introduced as they now will transition to introducing the Houston Cougars out of the Big 12 Conference and let their starting lineup be known to the 70,000 plus fans in attendance at the Alamodome in San Antonio, as we eagerly anticipate and eagerly await the opening tip of the national title game, with Houston again pulling off that upset of Duke. If you call it an upset of Duke, and I think they were probably the most or the highest picked team in the NCAA pools. And on, I know that James and I picked them on ESPN.com. So that is where things are at, as they are again, will now introduce the Houston starting lineup. James, what do you got for us for Houston and their starting 5 for the night's game?
Okay, Joseph Tugler. He's the forward, number 11. Next up, and they have a sea of red behind their basket, of course, or bench. Jawan Roberts will be another forward, I believe. Yeah, number 13. He's a big-time defensive player. He gets busy inside. He's a really good player there. Point guard, I think, will be coming up next. LJ Cryer, because he's a shooting guard. He reminds me of point guard, number 4. He's tenacious. You can say that about the whole damn team, honestly. Even their coach, I think that's where they get it from.
I was just going to say the same thing. Like Kelvin Sampson rubs off on his players with how they play the game. It seems like, James. It really does.
That's right. Usan is the other guard, and then Emmanuel Sharp is a guard. So they play with 2 forwards, 3 guards. He's number 21 for Houston. So I'm trying to remember how they distribute the tickets, but Todd Golden and Kelvin Sampson will meet and greet before the game in front of the referees. Both are probably nervous, trying to get their first championship ring. It would have been something if Golden, what was it? I know in the Final Four, Pearl and Golden had a relationship because Golden was his assistant at Auburn. So that was kind of awkward for him. I bet he's happy to get away from that as Golden to get to the national championship. Just the way the seedings went. Out of the 16, I think, SEC teams that got in, you had 2 face each other in the Final Four. It would have been great to have a SEC championship, like, college football does, but or what they want, allegedly. But I think we're going to have – with this game here, I think we're going to have really tight defensive battle. You'll still have 3-pointers being made. If I had to predict it, it'd probably be like 74-70. I'm going to go Florida.
I'm going to go Florida by 6, 76-70. I think it's going to be one of those games, though. I think, James, this game will boil down to rebounding. I think we kind of touched base on that throughout our entire pregame discussion.
Oh, yeah.
This game is going to boil down to rebounding. I think whoever wins the rebounding margin, they're going to win it all, it feels like. It really does.
Yeah, you mentioned, both are good offensive rebounding teams. It's going to come down to the men in the paint. Young men in the paint. And I'm interested to see, though, how these referees will try to control the pounding inside. If they called that on Cooper Flag, that one call at the end of the, late in the game against Duke, I'm wondering what they're going to call here with these two tough teams. I'm just wondering what calls will stand out when it's all said and done. What we'll remember about these calls, but it's almost tip time.
It's almost time, my friends. We have finally made it. The road officially is ending in San Antonio, Texas. We cannot be more excited to bring you folks our C2C Watch Along. This is our second one for sports. We've had multiple ones for WWE pay-per-views with our Between the Ropes gang, but now James and myself are here and ready to roll for our C2C Watch Along. The referees tonight, by the way, in case you're curious, Ron Grover, Doug Sermons, and Terry Oglesby are the three men assigned to officiate this ball game from the Alamodome. Florida out of the SEC, Houston out of the Big 12 is going to be taking off in T-minus 5 seconds probably. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ball is up, and here we go from San Antonio.
Okay, I'm like probably a whole 30 seconds behind. I'm going to try. Tell me when the shot is up.
So the Cougars with the tip. First shot of the game is off the rim and out of bounds.
Okay.
But last touch by the Cougars. So position will go to Florida for the first time about 35 seconds into the first half.
You have 1934, Todd Golden and the coaches. Okay. I forgot I could stop my television. I could stop it.
Tell you what, though, I'll tell you this much, James. Golden looks pretty composed on the sidelines.
Yeah. Have they inbounded the ball yet?
They just did. They actually put time back on the clock after the ball went out of bounds as Florida comes into the attacking front court. Right to left on the TV screens or computer screens as the Gators work it around on top. A long three on the way is off the rim, no good. It's going to careen out of bounds and go back to Houston. So early game jitters here, James. It already looks like for both sides.
I think we're even now with the, your feed and my feed. So I think we're good with that. I'll be watching streams on YouTube with people, and that's always the issue with certain people's, streams and cable networks, dish networks, whatever, DirecTV.
So Houston off the missed shot. They will now go towards the Florida half of the court, and that is a shot that goes in from the key, and the Cougars draw first blood. They now lead 2-0.
That was Tugler. They're sort of big fella.
Smooth stroke right there, by the way, for Houston.
Not Golden, I'm sorry. Condon.
Long three on the way. That's off the mark. And first true rebound, James, goes in favor of Houston. About a minute gone in the first half of play. Houston on top 2-0.
Important to get off to good starts.
Golden running a 1-3-1 zone, it looks like, defensively for Florida.
And Condon is so screwed up. That's why another offensive rebound.
Big offensive rebound.
Long three.
From Broadway.
Yikes.
That's no good. Second chance. Tap back to the midcourt stripe. Cougars still have it. That was blocked on the way up, it looks like. Rebound for Florida.
That three was from the Riverwalk. Slam dunk.
Oh, what a pass.
That's the thing. He has vision, too. All of the point guards there, and Martin did that for Condon.
I don't think Houston got back in time to defend that pass, though. Like they were kind of sleepwalking back down the floor. There's a steal.
Oh, nice attempt by
they say it was deflected,
Condon.
so no backcourt violation for Houston. floater. No good.
Off the glass.
Actually did go in. My apologies.
Oh, yeah. See, I hate
the camera cut away so quickly I couldn't see it go in.
That's a foul.
There's a foul.
On Roberts, that's his first. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a big problem, foul trouble, especially for the big guys. You see Condon running the floor. He's got all the energy so far tonight.
It's a floater.
The white on white, when you have the press view or the regular camera view, when you have a white net and then they have the bench right behind the white net.
Yeah, like I lost the ball there for a minute as Alex Condon's at the line, the forward and center combo out of Perth, Australia. 6'11", who had the opening points for the Gators on the dunk.
When they're all wearing white warm-ups and there's a white net, it just camouflages the net. I hate when that happens.
First free throw for Condon is good. 4-3 Houston. 17:30 to play in the opening half.
You can see Condon
2 points there, yeah.
Yeah, not a scorer, not what he's, I guess, known to do, but he gets busy inside. But maybe he'll have his breakout night to night, and of all nights to have it.
We'd like to remind you, folks, that this is the C2C Watch Along on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Stay connected and never miss a moment by following us on social media. You can catch highlights, show updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, and just search Coast to Coast Entertainment Network and join our conversation. All tied at 4 as we near the first media timeout in about 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Condon, by the way, only 1 point, and he fouled out against Auburn on Saturday.
Offensive board off the missed hook shot, but it comes free, and Florida all over that rebound after the attempted rebound by Houston.
A rugby scrum. That should be a foul inside, and it is.
So already, James, as you kind of alluded to, man, 2 quick fouls on the big man down low inside for Houston. So Florida, I think, they're already going. They're already kind of in a way going that way, though, of trying to see if they can get those bigs in foul trouble.
Tyler and Roberts both have 1 each. Reaching in there was Tyler. Martin with the fake. Oh, he tried to jam it, put it back blocked, and it will go the other way.
Oh, wow. Man. That would have been like the play of the night if that would have been thrown in. The rebound is just, oh, my goodness. The elevation clanks the rim, goes back up, and then stuffed again, and then loses the handle out of bounds.
Martin made a dunk similar to that.
Oh, my goodness. That would have brought the house down, literally and figuratively.
There's Roberts with
the basket. Floater.
You know, floater's not off the glass. Oh, no, that's the other one. Tugler.
So Houston back in front now 6-4, and Tugler 2 for 2 from the field so far. He's got 4 points.
Wow.
Another high-low and a jam, and then a foul after the play was over. Oh my goodness!
I don't think it's a foul. It's not a foul.
Oh my goodness! Oof. Number 11 for Houston kind of got tied up down there. Yeah, I don't think it's a foul either. It looked like it may have been a foul.
A collision.
They might
at the
take a look at this, James. They might.
No.
I doubt it though. Oh, that was
no. I think they just ran into one another.
I think they did, and yeah. So Tugler's going to have to probably come out of the game for a minute here, kind of recatch his breath. Yeah. So no foul. So we'll play on here. 6-6 tie. 16:15 to play in the opening half.
Number 5 is in for Tugler. He's got the ball up top, running the offense. He traveled, but they don't call it.
Oh, he misses the dunk.
The mustard came off the hot dog.
Couple of chances. Again, we said offensive rebounding not there now. And then here's a steal as it's a giveaway by the Gators.
Hockey.
Spot up 3, no good. Volleyball served back to the top of the offense.
Whoa.
Long 3 again on the way. That is good.
That. Not everyone is Curry. Stop shooting that crap. Look at who's deep inside.
Another high-low pass. So I think right now, James, if you're Kelvin Sampson, you got to tell guys to get back and defend, and you have to stop the high-low passing.
Yeah, they made a substitution.
That has killed them so far in the first few minutes of gameplay here.
Hag Longden had the basket there, subbing in. There's 21 with a jumper.
That back jumper is nothing but net, and we're tied at 8.
That was pressure shot right there. That almost looked like the Cooper Flag shot attempt, but with more control. Clayton Jr. throws it away.
Turned over. My goodness gracious. So a costly, perhaps, giveaway there by the Gators. But we have ourselves our first timeout of the night. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take a quick break. And we're going to give a lot of love to our sponsors tonight that sponsor Coast to Coast Entertainment. So we'll be right back in about a minute and 32 seconds right here on Coast to Coast. We're tied at 8 here on the C2C Watch Along. We're back in 90 seconds. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. All right, we are back here, folks, on the C2C Watch Along. The 2025 NCAA Division I men's basketball national title game is an 8-8 tie right now between the Florida Gators and Houston Cougars. We're at our first media break of the night from down in San Antonio, Texas. Callan McClurg alongside James Gonzales as we bring you our second C2C Watch Along here of the season. Again, we had James and Chris hosting the first one between Texas and Georgia for the SEC football championship game. But as a reminder, folks, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
But again, folks, as a reminder, this is the C2C Watch Along. We're live across Facebook, YouTube, and live on the Callan Sports Twitch channel. No subscriptions, no signups. Hop in, hang out, and chat with us during the biggest games and best moments in sports and entertainment. Make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know that we go live or whenever we go live every time here on C2C. Hello to our good man, Casey King, joining us down in Arizona. Hey there, guys, and good evening. And this is going to be a good game. And in case we're literally sitting here watching the game, having a good old time. I know our streams are kind of like offset right now because of buffering and whatnot. But again, Case, we're just hanging out here and adding a bit of a different experience, I guess, for those watching the game here on C2C. So again, it's an 8-8 tie right now with about 15 minutes to play, still in half number one between Houston and Florida. James, early observations. Houston got a cut down on the high-low passes by Florida. And for Florida right now, I think you have to stick to your bread and butter right now and keep going inside with already having some foul trouble here against two of the bigs for Houston at this rate.
You mentioned with Clayton Jr., it'd be good for him to just settle down with the passes and run the offense more than trying to make a miracle pass happen.
So 8-8 our score here, 15:05 to go first half from the Alamodome. Here we go. As we get back into progress here. Again, James might be a little bit ahead of myself, so let's see what happens here on this play as we get back into play. Both teams on the way 0 for 6 combined from the three right now. And there is a jam. My goodness, elevation down low. And Houston goes back on front 10-8.
Okay, I'm going to try to time it here. That was a
that was about as close as the Florida attempt, but actually made it this time.
That was
Here's
big. Three.
Thought about it. Now here's a three from somewhat straight away. That is, looked like it was an air ball. No good.
It hit the side of the rim.
So Houston by 2. 3 on the way. That is no good. Maybe an over the back that wasn't called there. Rebound goes back to Florida.
Houston's 0 for 5. Yeah. Florida 0
Another
for
deep
4.
three. And there's a putback two-hand slam.
Look what I found.
Hey,
Stop
look what
shooting
I found.
threes.
The ball came right out. And again, poor defending down low by the Cougars.
Thought they knew how to box out. Stop shooting threes, y'all. Please.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not box out right there? I mean, it was not even off the rim, for heaven's sakes.
I just don't want threes. Please.
Down
Roberts.
Feed. That is no good. Second chance is out of bounds. We'll stay, though, with Houston.
That's what I thought. Here is the dunk attempt and
oh,
flush.
my.
Woo!
Talk about some elevation.
Oh, well, okay. They let
What are
the
you
off
thinking?
arm go. They let the off arm
I was just
go.
thinking the same, like, hey, what's going on with that free hand there? Come on now. So that was
Yeah.
Javier Francis with that monster jam for Houston. So
He's going to get
10-10 the
above his
score.
point average for the tournament. He's going to get above that. And
Tugler
number
back into the
11's
game, it
back,
looks like.
Tugler,
Yes.
for
All
Roberts, who
right.
needs a break.
So 13:43 left and counting in the first half. 10-10 the score. Clayton Jr., by the way, no points, 3 assists, though, for Florida.
I bet everybody's nervous in that place right now.
Oh, absolutely.
The double on Clayton Jr., it's the first one we've seen. Ooh, he didn't take the three. Stripped,
and then it was stripped away inside, and now the Cougars can run the other way. Combined 9 of 26, both teams. 3 turnovers though, for the Gators. Cryer's 3, no good. Good save, though, underneath the basket.
No, hit the line.
And they're going to roll out of bounds. And the 3 would have been good if it would have stayed in play.
Ugh, God, just stop with the 3.
That was like an 80-foot 3, it looked like, too. So the ball is out of bounds, and we'll go back to the Gators. 10-10 the score.
I just hate that.
Yeah, Case, I agree. That was a
much.
beautiful dunk by Roberts there for Houston.
Oh, I forgot who it was by. Yeah. All right,
Clayton
so off
the inbound, 13-10 to play.
Aberdeen is in.
Claude or Clayton Jr., Aberdeen, and Condon out there now for Florida.
You know why I like the name Aberdeen? Whoa, Clayton Jr. from the Riverwalk.
3 is no good. Rebound is fought for and saved by Houston.
Again,
nearing our next break in the action here.
0 for 6,
I agree, James.
0 for 5.
Both teams are 0 for 11 right now from beyond the arc combined.
Stop, please. Just get the ball to the big man, let him dominate, like Shaq says.
Yeah, and not just
Florida. Another threes right here.
Yeah, both teams, Casey, are scuffling right now from beyond the arc.
Floaters are working, though.
11 or 10 to shoot now. Here's the runner. It's good. 12-10 Cougars. Sea of red explodes in unison at the Alamodome.
Clayton Jr. is being a passer today. Traveling inside by the big fella of
and
Florida.
They called it. And it would have been the first made 3 of the game, but too many steps.
Too many. I think
momentum swinging in favor of Houston now here, James.
Yeah. It could change, though. It's so early.
But as you said, though, both teams, and then you can tell both teams look nervous, trying to get themselves kind of under control. Even, I mean, we're still, 8 minutes into the game.
Florida with the 4 turnovers. Houston has yet to turn it over.
So Uzan, Wilson, Tugler, Roberts, all out there right now for Houston.
Woo!
11:47 to play first half. 12-10 Houston.
5 on the clock. 4 on the clock. 3. Got to get it off.
Got to get a shot. Got to do something with it.
Ugh.
Long 3 on the way. Did not hit the rim. Rebound going to Florida.
Nice save. Wow.
Trying another high-low, and James, they snuffed it out finally. Look at that.
Yep. Another turnover. That's 5 on Florida.
That is 5. Yes, 5 turnovers now for the Gators. So I'm sure Golden will have to tell them about that. 3-pointer again is no good.
Just stop.
Fight for the rebound goes to Florida.
Okay, Clayton Jr. has to get offensive right here.
Got to do something.
He's got to offend some Cougars right here and right now. Instead, he passes it off to Condon. Give it back to Will Clayton Jr. Aberdeen has it. The Cage Elephant song. Step back, Aberdeen. Ugh. Ugh. They were saying on these, what do you call it? The elevated courts in the stadiums, how the background of the basket is different and it affects shooting. I wonder if, that's the case for some players.
I wonder so, too. We are, though, at the second break of the first half. So we'll step aside for a moment. We'll be right back. But still, 12-10 Houston. Thanks for being here, folks. I'm a C2C Watch Along back here in 90 seconds. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Wrap up your night with Callan McClurg and James Gonzales on Monday nights on C2C at night, a late-night mix of headlines, hot takes, and off-the-wall debates from the world of sports and beyond. From buzzer beaters to bizarre news stories, we cover it all. Monday nights at 10 p.m. right here on C2C. That's 10 p.m. Pacific time, and you will, in fact, see us at 10 o'clock tonight to recap what was the final game of the March Madness season, kind of talk some baseball as well. We are, though, folks, back here on the C2C Watch Along for the national title game as Houston leads the Gators of Florida 12-10. Callan McClurg and James Gonzales with you here tonight. James, I think that we agree with Casey King's logic. Florida needs to get inside more right now as they are not setting the world on fire from beyond the arc. And frankly, James, neither team has right now because this has been a very dismal start to the game from beyond the arc for both teams.
I mean, yeah, I'm mentioning it. You know how much of a hater I am of the three-pointers, even though I do it where I am just because how short I am. But just in basketball, they're doing well with the floating shots, either off the backboard or off the glass or floating in. But 0 for 9 in three-pointers, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. And I also, James, remember that we had even said, though, for Florida, you've got to keep going, high-low passes and try to get those guys in foul trouble. Yet, though, the Cougars finally read it and snuffed it out as we get back into play here in about a couple of moments. 14-10 Houston on top from San Antonio. But again, this is the C2C Watch Along here with Callan McClurg and James Gonzales on a beautiful Monday early evening here in Southern California, where we are, in fact, joining you folks from here. Again, this is our second sports style watch along, as again James and Chris did a SEC watch along for football back earlier in the season between Texas and Georgia. So trying our best here to get this going with the final game for March Madness here tonight. Again, a great crowd on hand in San Antonio, and hopefully you're enjoying the game and hopefully enjoying our broadcast. I know that James and I are kind of struggling to kind of, be on par with each other because, again, the streams just don't want to align right now. We're doing our best to do that for you as we get back into play about halfway through the opening half of this first half. And there's a steal off the inbound going in all the way. It's up and good in transition, and Houston has built the biggest lead of the game so far, James, 16-10.
Tell you what, Cryer read that so well.
Well done there by Cryer, absolutely.
And now Wilson, number 8. Sorry, Wilson, number 8.
Officially halfway now through the first half of play from San Antonio.
And Clayton Jr. is sitting down. There's another 3 by Condon, no good. The Gators are 0 for 6. Meanwhile, the Cougars are 0 for 7 from downtown. Richard for a 3. Yeah, finally, a 3-pointer goes in.
So maybe that gets the Florida offense going, and now we come down the other way to the floor with about 9:10 to play. Inside, hook it up and hook it in, 18-13. So Houston's bigs getting established now here down low. 4 points now for Francis on that last made shot with 9 minutes to go now in the opening half. Another 3 on the way. Bang! Another quick answer back by Florida. So maybe, James, the Gators getting their three-point shooting going here, 18-16 Houston.
We'll see if that sparks it up, and maybe they were finding a little loophole in the Houston defense.
So here is Francis down low for the Cougars, who lead by 2. Trying to sneak by, kisses the glass and puts it in. Well done with the post moves down low. Lead back to 4 for Houston.
Now they're playing Houston style of basketball. The Houston wants to play this style, not running up and down, but just like grit and grind. Condon is just flipping the ball out way. There he
My
is. He's got
goodness,
it
they look
back.
so out of sync right now as Florida tend to shoot here for the
It's
Gators
a
down
Houston
4.
defense. Condon, oh, he traveled with it. Yes, he did.
And they stop it right in its tracks. But, James, that possession had disaster written all over it from the word go.
Look at that's the three-pointer by
That's made
Richard. They'll
3.
show both of those, and then
Really kind of
number
got
5.
the Gators finally going, but then Francis kisses the window with the left hand, soft touch, and the lead back to 4.
I know that probably Samson during the timeout said, hey, you got to buckle down on defense and double and help and trap, and they've done that other from the three-pointers allowed.
Cougars 5 of 7 from the field since that timeout. Now here's a steal for Florida the other way. In the lane, rejected out of nowhere. My goodness.
That's
On
an
the
off.
way come the Cougars. That's blocked in out of bounds off of Houston. No, they ruled it out of bounds off the Cougars.
That's a frantic pace. We have another stoppage of time.
And we have ourselves the under 8 timeout here with 7:42 left to play. We're going to take a break ourselves here, but we got a good one here in the national title game from San Antonio, 20-16 in favor of the Cougars, right here on the C2C Watch Along. We're back in 90 seconds. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Every list is up to date on C2C Rankum. Join your host, Big B, Brandon Herrera, and our good man, Tim Hendricks, as they stack the best and worst across sports, music, pop culture, and more. New episodes drop every week, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 a.m. Central, right here on C2C. We got a good one here, folks, as we roll on the C2C Watch Along here tonight from San Antonio, Texas, but Callan McClurg and James Gonzales joining you folks here from Southern California. And James, so far, man, we've had a good one here at this rate, my man. I'm telling you, we've had a great game so far. I know it's like I said, though, it's been a little bit tough, though, with, maybe you're being ahead of me, I'm ahead of you, vice versa. But still, we've had great viewer interaction so far. We've been topping out. It's a lot, having a lot of great live views so far. And this has been a very fun night so far here doing the watch along.
Yeah, let's give you the lead scorers so far for each team. Yes,
please do.
For Florida, you have Richard with 6 points, Condon with 4, and then you have 3 others tied with 2 points for Florida, and also with 6 points off the bench is Francis. But for Houston, then you have Tugler and Uzon with 4 points, and then 3 others with 2 for Houston. So it's kind of balanced scoring as you thought, but man, the defense for both teams is kind of clamping down more Houston now since they've given up those 2 points. But Florida has 7 turnovers and Houston has scored 4 points off of it. So that's been a big key. And the margin of this game, the reason why it is what it is. Al Horford in the crowd with his son. Still going after all these years. With the
Crazy,
Boston Celtics.
Unreal to see him still playing at that age, though, and still playing at a high level.
There's a back door that's open. 20-18 now, Houston leading.
20-18 now in favor of
Martin.
favor of the Cougars here as we come down the pipeline of the first half. James, what do you got for us, my man?
No, there was a foul inside. Let's see what they got. Roberts will go to the line for a free throw, but Hang Logden had a good pass to the back door for Martin to have that open layup. Roberts will be at the line for two. Juwan Roberts, 2 points so far tonight and 4 rebounds, 1 for 5 from the field. The first one up and in. Juwan, no problem with those free throws the other night. All right.
Especially coming down the pipeline of it being, so close, making the comeback versus Duke and cool under pressure.
7:13 left here in the first half. 3 fouls on Houston and then 1 for Florida. And the second one is off, no good. Rebound will be taken there.
No one there for the rebound, though, for Houston's kind of a little bit perplexing on that missed free throw.
There, what you said, they're going to get back. They're going to get back. Hogg had that rebound.
Probably getting tired of Sampson saying, get back on defense.
Mm-hmm. No matter what, just get back on the free throws. He'll probably make them anyway. Okay, Richard with it in the three-point land. Going to drive, find. Hogg logged in to Hogg. He should have been fouled. Yeah, that's a shot clock violation. So good defense by Francis. Wow. I thought he was fouled, but I'm way over here.
Ah, man, that's another, though, James. Just like that's another turnover you can't afford to take in a game like this. I know that we're still, we're getting late now in the first half, James, but, man, now a shot clock violation for like this. I think it's, 6 turnovers now for Florida?
Feels like 8. 21 with the three-pointer, hits the other side of the board. Yikes.
Oops.
That was Sharp. He wasn't sharp there. Clayton Jr. with the pass inside, outside to Richard for 3. Bingo.
Ties
and now
the game
Florida has tied it. That was great. That was hand logged in again, getting busy with the assists. So you could just tell hand logged in. He just knows how to.
Great ball movement. We'll kick it inside or kick it down low and then right back to the corner for the 3 to tie the game.
Quickly. That was a quick pass. Cryer with it, getting the screen. Long 3 again. That's good. Now the 3s are starting to hit.
Yeah, so I think it just took them about 15 minutes of game time to finally get the 3s to fall. And now Houston's on the board with their first 3 of the ball game here.
And that was Cryer's first points of the game. He averages 18.6. Blocked inside by Francis. Outside to Sharp. The alley-oop, the jam. That was number 8, Wilson. Now drive and a jump ball by Sharp. Oh, Richard went up for a layup. But the referee had a jump ball from behind. And the possession
that lob and the jam was sweet. Cougars by 5 now all of a sudden.
The possession arrow will stay with Florida, though. But yeah, that lob, I thought he threw it too far. But Wilson was there to grab it and dunk it. It's cool to see in college football or basketball, the shirts underneath the jerseys. You never see it anywhere else.
Kind of a lost art, I feel like, in basketball.
That was a 90s thing. Will Richard Jr. 3, Clayton Jr. for 3, no good. To beat the shot clock, no good. Cryer got the rebound.
Great look, though, but came up empty.
They had to get rid of it. Cryer outside. Wilson lets this man go by. 3. Bank shot is good. I don't think he meant to do that.
My goodness.
The banks aren't open this late.
The flyby and then kisses the glass for the 3, and the Cougars now up 8-0, James, and it's up 8 with an 8-0 run now in the last minute of gameplay.
Chinyu is back, and there's a traveling violation against Richard. The turnovers, like you mentioned.
That's 9 turnovers for Florida. 9 turnovers in the first half.
And look at Wilson say, whatever, I made the 3.
I feel like, James, if Houston scores again, I think we're going to have a timeout by Todd Golden. I think he just called one here, it looks like.
Just called one. 29-21. You feel like Houston's running away.
It kind of feels that way. We will, though, folks, step aside here. It's getting late in the first half. Cougars by 8 right here on the C2C Watch Along. We're back in a moment. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Step behind the scenes of the sports world with Press Row, hosted by yours truly, Callan McClurg, every Thursday evening at 10 p.m. From the business of broadcasting to the stories shaping the games we love, Press Row gives you a front row seat to the sports media conversation. Watch live on Thursdays at 10 p.m. right here on C2C. James, we got a good one going here, but now, though, big game, James. Hoofa, hoofa, hoofa. All of a sudden, the Cougars are pulling away here late in half number one, now up 29-21 on Florida. I think, though, James, smart for Todd Golden to call timeout to try to stop the bleeding.
Yes, by the way, that's great how you come back from commercial and you're right away with the promo. Malik Wilson has just been awesome off the bench. He's got, 7 points?
Spark plug.
He's been the spark, and that's why they're up 8 right now. He had the alley-oop dunk. He had the bank shot bingo that went in. That was just out of nowhere. He let the man fly by. But it's little things like that. You got to get contributions from everyone to win in a game like this. Some of the stats here, again, Houston up by 8. Field goals, Houston 13 for 29. Florida 8 for 21. From downtown, 3 for 10, Florida. And then Houston's 2 for 10 from downtown. But just their energy on defense has been amazing. I mean, it just starts from there. Wolf Clayton Jr. is having to shoot from downtown because he knows that double team is coming. By the way, Clayton Jr. has been held to nothing, and he averages 24.6.
He's been more. It feels like he's been more of a facilitator tonight, James, than he has been his aggressive scoring self. And I think, though, what caught my eye, though, coming out of the break, the turnovers are mind-boggling. Where it's a 9-1 Florida with turnovers at this rate. So not a good sign right now for the Gators as we resume play with 4:40 to play now here in the first half.
See, I'm at 4:20. Here we go.
So here's the drive into the lane, and the shot is no good. Offensive rebound for the Cougars. Pried away, though, by the Gators down low. I'm
waiting for it to link up.
So we get down now to 4 minutes and 15 seconds to play.
I'm at 4:09. 4:09.
13 for 30. Houston right now from the field. Gators 8 of 21. There's a beautiful pass and a great finish by, it looks like, Condon. Down low, so the Gators get on the board and stop the bleeding. 29-23 with 4 to play here in the first half with one more break to come.
Condon went 6 now, 2 for 3 from the field or the court.
Both times he scored, it's been dunks.
Inside baskets, yeah. Cryer being double teamed. Outside, Wilson for 3. Straight away, no good. Rebound, out of bounds. It'll go to Florida. And Golden,
I believe that will take us to our final break of the first half with 3:41 left. Gators get a couple of points back.
The defenders ran into each other.
Still, though, trail 29-23 with 3:41 to play. We have one last break for the first half. We're back in a moment right here. This is the C2C Watch Along. Don't go away. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. It's laughs, takes, and entertainment chaos on Entertainment Hour with James Gonzales, Chris Mabry, and Randy Dragon Viper Cox every Friday night at 8 p.m. From movie breakdowns to video games and deep dives and more, they bring you the lighter side of Coast to Coast. New episode stream every week right here on C2C platforms. I know that they had a great show just a couple of days ago here to round out or begin the weekend of coverage. And speaking of Mr. Chris Mabry, who drops in, sorry, folks, that I could not make it, had my plans changed. But, hey, Chris, we're glad that you're here watching the watch along here as we get into the latter half of the first half of play with the Cougars of Houston, still on top of the Florida Gators 29-23. And also, James, one more thought from Casey King before we went to the break there. Gators are now looking like pure doo-doo. Way too many turnovers by the Gators. Again, James, 9 of them in the first half so far here.
That defensive pressure by Houston, you just see it, where they're forcing Clayton Jr. to shoot those long, terrible three-pointers. It's just all happening there, sadly. But credit to Houston, it's as advertised. They are on the ball. They're getting blocks inside. And right now, though, they're winning ugly, and that's how they won it. Jim Nance, by the way, there with family. Of course, he's an alumni. He's been at a lot of the tournaments. And, of course, Hakeem Olajuwon there. Let him on the court this time. You seen that video? The security didn't let him on because he didn't have a pass on Saturday. That's Hakeem Olajuwon. It's Texas. You should know that.
All right, back to gameplay we go. 3:33 left.
Another
opening
block.
half. Houston by 6. So
again, they're going down. Yeah.
And there's another steal, but it's out of bounds. Oh, it's still last touch, though, by Florida. So the ball goes back to the Cougars. I think James said now that is 10 first half turnovers for Florida.
No, Florida, it was a block on Roberts.
Oh, my apologies. So it was out of bounds off of Houston. Here's the inbound jumper. Pure 29-25 in favor now of the Cougars.
Condon just can't get a shot off with Roberts there. Roberts is really controlling the inside. I mean, that was literally right to his hand. It was wild. Oh, man.
Down to 3 minutes now to play in the first half. 29-25 in favor of the Cougars.
They're trying to get it to Roberts, but Florida with good defense. Now they got to go. 3 seconds. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Uzan! No. From downtown. Cogden with the rebound. He'll set it up to Clayton Jr. Now he's got to score here. He's got to score. Please score.
Yeah, I don't understand, James, like what the mindset is about why Clayton Jr. is just not getting involved with shooting the basketball.
You know, maybe it's a stall tactic, and he's going to go off in the second half. There is Wilson. No good for a shot. Clayton Jr. coming down, dribble drive, going the wrong way.
Missed the shot.
Never took one. Cogden double teamed. Throw it outside. Martin for a 3. Rimmed in and out.
Another great defense, or more great defense by Houston.
Some battling going down inside.
Down to 2 minutes in the first half. Here we go.
Prior to use John.
Always love seeing Jim Nance in the stands, Casey. I agree.
It's weird to see him in the stands. He's always in the.
I know. It feels like he should be calling the game. I know.
Ian Eagle's done a great job.
He's been spectacular.
Crier, yes, on a jumper. They needed that. Cougars had a dry spell of
Oh, and from
basket.
the left elbow, too, and seeing the shot clock winding down, 31-25 Houston.
They do score late in the clock. You'll notice that with Houston. A three goes out of bounds. It's going to be Houston ball.
If you're enjoying the stream, friends, then let us know in the comments who you're rooting for. Are you rooting for Florida, the SEC, or trying to see Houston win their first natty in school history? Again, they were here in '84. And maybe where you're watching from. We're here in Southern California in San Diego. Like and share the stream and bring more fans into our watch along here. We've had a great audience tonight so far with just the viewership numbers so far and the chat box being on fire from Casey and from Chris Mabry so far. So, again, really love seeing everyone pouring in here and for joining us here tonight on the stream with about 1:21 to play in the opening half and a 31-25 lead for the Cougars.
By the way, Houston has, I think, 13 points compared to Florida's 4. From the bench, I should say. Wow.
And only 5 combined threes out of 24 tries for both teams. And yes, they're outscoring the Gators 13-4 off the bench.
What's your clock right now?
My clock is down to 1 minute remaining in the first half.
Okay. I'll wait.
So into the final minute here. 31-25 Houston. A long shot on the way is good.
Okay.
Rolled a 3, 31-28. Clock is running. The ball is just kind of laying there for someone to pick up and inbound. So I think the Cougars will try to just, milk some clock here. They cannot play for the final shot, though, as the shot clock and game clock are well ahead of each other. And no, we have a timeout called here by Houston with 34 seconds left. We'll keep things right here. Quick thought from Casey King. He's rooting for the Gators as he has Golden winning it all. In my work pool, think they win and I win, or if they win, I win the work pool is what Casey's getting at. So we'll keep things right here with that timeout. So, James, 34 seconds left in this opening half. Lead now down to, I believe, 3 for Houston. If you are a Kelvin Sampson, James, what are you telling your team right now in that timeout?
Don't throw the ball away. Get back on defense and just not get back. Yeah, but they're going to try to score late. But no, because Florida's going to get the ball with limited time. So you're trying to get back and don't defend without fouling. Definitely on the last, second of this or last seconds of this first half. Defend without fouling, knowing that the ball. Oh, they wanted a goaltend. And yeah, that basket shouldn't have counted.
I noticed that. I thought there should have been a goaltend because the ball, or even offensive interference being over the cylinder.
Yeah. What's his name? Han Logden hit it off like he was in there. He's the one from Australia, correct? So he had thoughts he was in FIBA play and pushed it off the rim.
Sure, you can't do that.
I don't like the running clock either. I wish they would get rid of that in college.
Yeah. Oh, the overhead angle, James. That ball was still kind of on the rim, it looked like.
It definitely was. It was over.
All right, James, 34 seconds left, 22 on the shot clock. Timeout was called there by Houston, trying to draw up a final play maybe for the half. Now, again, they have to shoot, though, because the shot clock is at 22, and the game clock is at 34 flat. Left here with the Cougars leading 31-28. Here's the inbound play.
Let me know when you're at 21 seconds.
Down to 32 seconds as the Cougars begin to kind of get the offense going. We're down to 30 seconds.
There's 11 seconds between game and shot clock.
Time is running away here. We're down to 21 seconds as they work the ball around the top of the offensive perimeter. Long three on the way is off the mark. Rebound goes back. Second chance at it. No good again. Out of bounds.
Oh, my God.
So that was a rough possession. Now Kelvin Sampson's imploring his team, play defense, do not foul.
That's what I said. Houston 2 for 14 from downtown. Obviously.
Okay, final shot for the half. Here we go. Down to 5, down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. Richard for 3. No good. And the halftime buzzer sounds. Had a great look at it, James. But at the end of 20 minutes of play, the Cougars of Houston cling to a 31-28 lead after one half of basketball.
You could just tell defensively, Houston said, hey, we're not going to let Walter Clayton Jr. beat us. And he literally has not scored yet. I believe he has 5 assists and 2 rebounds and 2 turnovers. He's 0 for 4 from three-point land as well. He tried the ones from the river walk, or the dirty creek, as Chuck likes to say. So Houston has done a tremendous job not letting him get busy, just allowing him to throw errant passes or getting rid of it before the double comes. They just execute the game plan, did Houston.
Yeah, James, I feel like though that this was kind of more of both teams kind of feeling out the first half, but then Houston, like something clicked though as they kind of began to go on the run there again. They had an 8-0 run at one point and really have stymied Florida so far shooting the basketball, it seems like.
Yeah, like we mentioned with the three-pointers, Florida 4 for 14, and then 2 for 14 for Houston. I know the teams are like cautious of trying to get the ball inside and going to work, but knowing that flopping could happen, offensive fouls can happen, but it's just something you have to try. And man, I'll tell you this much too. I think one adjustment offensively Florida has to do here is to get Walter Clayton Jr. coming off screens instead of having him on the ball. I think that'll get him open for shots and get him going. But the way that Houston's playing him, he's not getting anything while he possesses the ball and bringing it down and working the offense. It's just something's got to change. Martin has to be the one facilitating the offense and have Clayton Jr. coming off screens and making those threes and getting him closer to the damn basket. I think that's going to help Florida if they do that in the second half. If not, they're going to lose.
All right, James, let's get to our first half box score here. Again, Houston leading Florida 31-29 at halftime from the Alamodome in San Antonio. Field goal-wise, the Gators shot 11 of 29, 37.9%. Houston 14 of 37, 37.8%. 4 for 14 was Florida from beyond the arc. 2 for 14 for Houston in the first half of play. Free throws only 2 for 2 for the Gators, 1 for 2 for Houston. Total rebounds 22-19 in favor of Florida. Offensive rebounds, though, James, 6-4 in favor of Houston.
That was a big deal, like we said, coming in. But that's been a big deal, but it hasn't been the biggest deal of the game so far.
Defensive rebounds, 18-13 in favor of Florida. 8 assists for the Gators compared to 3 for the Cougars. More importantly, though, James, 4 steals for Houston's defense, only 2 for the Gators. They've already blocked 5 shots compared to the 2 right now for the Gators. But also, James, the big talking point, 9 Florida turnovers compared to only 2 for Houston in this ball game so far through 20 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, Houston is sending back whatever Florida's trying to bring inside. You can see that with Congdon getting blocked by Roberts a couple of times, I believe. The dunk try by Martin that was sent back. That was amazing. Florida's just got to find a different way to penetrate and get in and score.
So, yeah, James, that probably goes to this point, though, about what would you do, though, for second half adjustments right now? I think right now if you're Houston, maybe not go try not to go and shoot so many threes. I think right now what's working has worked. Feed the bigs down low, work it inside, maybe in a way try to lose the defensive scheme right now that Todd Golden is throwing the way right now of that they're throwing at you. And I think if you're Florida, you got to take care of the basketball. You can't keep turning it over again. 9 first-half turnovers are not going to win you a lot of ball games right now. James, what would you probably like to see, though, from both teams as we go into half number 2 here in roughly, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes here?
Again, for Florida, I want to get Clayton Jr. coming off the ball instead of trying to facilitate himself and not getting anywhere near the three-point line. He just keeps getting pushed back. It's been awful. And that's the main thing for Florida. He's the meal ticket, right? So for Houston, continue to defend without fouling, stay aggressive with the rebounds. Everything that got you here, you keep doing, basically. And Sampson has them doing that. Just try not to shoot so many threes. They're not falling. I know you might have a semi-wide open look, but come on, just stop. Just get the mid-range going. Keep your pace going, but scoring your possessions easier. that's what I think for Houston. But keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
More importantly, I think, James, that you're right, though. I think that Florida just has to take better care of the basketball. But more importantly, I think, though, a lot of like the mental turnovers of like the shot clock violations, the bad passes, the shots with, defenders in your face, though, or whatever. I think you have to, in a way, tweak all that in some capacity. And I think if you're Houston, keep doing what you've been doing again, going down low inside. Now you're kind of getting the three going. I think it's more of a last resort, it feels like, at this rate. But again, folks, 31-29 in favor of Houston at the half. James, before we take a quick break here and come back during the halftime, and we're seeing it again here, James, too, watching the halftime coverage with the panel for CBS Sports, and again, seeing the golden microphones in honor of Greg Gumbel's passing. That, I think, James, has been so cool, though, across the whole tournament. From Selection Sunday, the tribute to Greg, the Rolling Stones music being played, and how everyone in some way has honored Greg throughout this broadcast and throughout all the broadcasts throughout the tournament. Bravo, great job by CBS Sports to really keep Greg's memory alive and still alive as this tournament has gone on here during the course of the entire tournament.
Yeah, it just felt odd this year without Greg Gumbel, and it started off with Selection Sunday. He was the voice of that for so many years. And just all the stories I heard from everyone when they did that touching remembrance before that Selection Sunday and throughout the March Madness. Always had the funny dad jokes. Him and Chuck would go over who was the best band between the Stones and the Eagles. Of course, that's the Stones, but Eagles are not too bad themselves. But how easygoing I think he was, and everybody loved him. When you lose people like that, it's hard as hell to replace them. I think Ernie Johnson Jr. has done well with that. It just goes. Every year without Gumbel will be just you just know something's missing, and it's just unfortunate. So the coverage and the remembrance and the pins have all been just great to see, and we're missing a giant tonight.
Yeah, we're missing a giant for sure, James, and what Greg has meant to the tournament in general. Casey King has a couple of thoughts. Lucky the Gators are only down by 3. Houston got a little sloppy down the stretch of the first half. And I think, James, that last possession probably did not sit right with Kelvin Sampson. We saw, though, of him saying, okay, you screwed it up. Now you got to play defense.
And they did, but damn it, they shot those 2 threes that,
weren't even close. Like, what are you guys doing?
They knew the clock was going down. They both shot 38% from the field, but the 9 turnovers to 2 in favor of Florida, or not in favor of Florida, didn't help. Florida does have 22 rebounds to 19 for Houston, but it's just taking care of the ball, like you mentioned. It's just different.
Yeah, I hear that, James, so much, and it's always take care of the rock, take care of the ball, quit turning it over, and that is just so important, though, as time goes on. By the way, folks, if you're watching us live here on the C2C Watch Along on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, please hit the like button or follow button and help grow the C2C community. We want your takes in the chat as well, live on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. So don't be shy, please. This is your show as much as this is our show as well here this evening on the second C2C Watch Along here. As we talked about earlier, again, James and Chris pulled one off during the college football season. Now here we are doing this, though, for March Madness here tonight in the final game. Looking for a national champ. Will it be Florida, looking for their 4th ever in school history, or will it be Houston, who got so close with Phi Slamma Jamma back in '84, who will take home the whole tournament and the entire the trophy here tonight? And just kind of watching the stream, and Chris Jenkins, again known for his time at Villanova, and that game-winning 3 from Ryan Arcidiacono, because head coach Jay Wright is on the set with Clark Kellogg and Chuck and Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson. James, I feel like, though, that still is one of like my top favorite finishes. I think I picked UNC that year, but the shot just lives in lore forever. I mean, it was, didn't call the timeout. I don't think, Arcidiacono runs the floor. Jenkins pulls up, hits the 3. and then you just see like Jay Wright not even like smile when he makes the game-winning shot, and then Bill Rafferty. But how about those onions?
That play I think was executed in practice, and it was made for perfection when it was most needed. I think Jay Wright so calm in that moment. Meanwhile, I'm screaming my head off when that happened. I mean, I almost did that when Butler and Gordon Hayward had that half court heave that went off the backboard, went off the rim and missed. I really wanted Butler to win in that game. I think it was in Indianapolis too, in 2011, I want to say, against Duke. But at least we had that there to beat North Carolina. I can still remember Kenny Smith's reaction. And he tried to take it in stride, but you could tell he was pissed.
He tried so hard to take it in stride too. It was insane.
Mm-hmm. I'm just I hope we get a moment like this, but it's going to be ugly. By the way, we have a bunch of fans that are in Florida's O Dome, I guess they call it, the home of the Gators. Yeah, they have people waiting in line for hours getting into that place to watch it there. They could just
I'm
be
sure
watching
and I'm sure all the bars and all of the I'm sure the bars are packed, and I'm sure that even in Houston, I'm sure, like I said, though, maybe that people made the trek from Houston to San Antonio, and those who probably could not do so in Florida are probably packing bars down in Tallahassee or down in Gainesville. And again, the watch party being at the arena down there for the Gators basketball team. I remember when SDSU did that or got to the title game 2 or 3 years ago, they did the same thing. They had the watch party at Viejas Arena. It was sold out. All the bars were packed here locally in town, having to face UConn that year. So definitely, James, I love, though, that that's happening where people who probably, cannot afford to make the trip or whatever, they get to at least go to the arena one last time for the basketball season to get to experience, national title game. Like, this doesn't come around every day.
Yeah, and I also read there were there was bunch of Gator fans who slept in tents to go to this game tonight in Houston. Oh, do you want to congratulate yourself on UConn winning their 12th women's title?
Sadly, I picked South Carolina in the pool, but I had the matchup right. But yes, a major congratulations on the women's side real quick as we have time here during halftime. For the first time in 9 years, who would have thought it'd take 9 years, but the UConn women's basketball team are back on top as they won their 12th national title over a very good South Carolina team. Just seeing the embrace and the highlights of the game on CBS, Gino Auriemma in a huge hug for Dawn Staley. The Huskies blowing out. Did not think I would see that. Blowing out the Gamecocks, though, for their 12th national title. And, of course, James, more importantly, Paige Beckers, who has, had to endure a lot of personal strife with injuries and whatnot, winning the game 82-59. The Huskies win over South Carolina. And I think, James, much like the Nick Saban pipeline for football, where I believe that Saban had every class that he coached had won a national title. Here now, James, though, despite the 9-year drought, arguably one of the other biggest names in women's college basketball with her problems with injuries, goes out on top, James. I think, though, at the rally today back in Stores, they already had dropped the banner in the practice facility for the UConn women, but also Paige Beckers being very emotional, James, saying that Stores, Connecticut is her second home. And great to see UConn being back on the map, though, and being back on top of women's hoops. And also, James, major shout out to Dawn Staley, who, again, Dawn did not have a really big-name player during the course of this season, but they all got it done right at the end of the season. And what an accomplishment, though, James, for what she has built, though, to be back in the national title, conversation this year. That program's not going away, James, anytime soon. What a season.
Yeah, it was. I'll first talk about South Carolina because I watched that game, and you could just tell Dawn Staley was just killing her that this team could not get back into that game. I mean, it was really stressing her out. She's all about perfection and winning, and but yeah, shout out to her and her program. Just they keep going. They're always in it. you never can count them out. And I think a lot of people counted them out. They went with the sexier schools, like UCLA and LSU, and if USC made it with Juju Watkins, but may have caught a break, but they got to the title game. But you feel bad for Staley there. With UConn, though, with Geno tying John Wooden for the most college titles at 12, that's a big deal. I did like ABC. They had they did like a Roseanne intro of his face throughout the years when he started at
Yes.
UConn in what 95, I think it was. I can't
Yes.
remember when he started. They had him, and he had the brown hair, and little by little you start seeing the grays, and now the little beard like I have going. But all through the years they had Geno, so I thought that was a great touch. And for Paige Beckers with her injury, was it last year, I believe, or I forget when? Yeah, last year.
Fairly recently.
That was just horrible to see, because you knew that they were going on a run possibly, and to get it done here, they have a three-headed monster this year with Fudd. I love that name. Somebody had a shirt said "Fudd around and find out." And
ESPN pointed it out on SportsCenter late last night.
Yeah, and they were up by 30 at one point. I think oh God, I don't remember.
Not just that though, James. UConn just mopped the floor with everybody. It was so surprising.
Yeah, it was a great team win, and that's what it's all about. It was just great, and UConn having a three-peat in a way of the men's winning 2 in a row, and now you have the women's winning here, and it's just amazing. I saw that Pat Summitt had 8.
Yes.
Mulkey has 4, and Staley has 3.
3.
Yeah, so those are the top 4 in women's college basketball. I watched Final Four, and I watched the highlights of that. But I made sure to get up early to watch that national championship yesterday. I'm just happy for Beckers. That was good.
A couple of thoughts. Casey King. Okay, guys, I picked the Trojans to win the women's side, but once Juju got hurt, I knew they were doomed, unfortunately. But congrats to UConn as they earned it. And also, Casey says that USC would have played UConn the toughest and did play them the toughest. And more importantly as well, though, James, too, the fact that UConn just blew the doors off everybody. It was so surprising. Again, folks, we are here at halftime of the C2C Watch Along. Again, we are at a 31-29 lead in favor of the Cougars of Houston over Florida. So, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go off camera and off screen for roughly about a minute or two. We're going to come back, though, once the second half does begin, to use the bathroom, whatnot. And we'll be back with you folks here in a few minutes here as we roll along here. But again, we're glad to have you folks here. But we're going to take a quick little brief timeout. We'll be back here. So if we're not on screen, that's what we're doing here. We'll have the halftime score for you folks, and that will be back here in about, I'd say, 3 minutes or so. But this is, in fact, folks, the C2C Watch Along. Back with second half action and momentarily here on the C2C Watch Along. We're back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. All right, gang, we are back. Second half is officially underway from Houston, Texas, as the Cougars on top of the Gators 31-28, as we welcome you folks back inside. And we have a blocking foul, James, to kick off half number two, about 27 seconds into half number two.
Okay, I'm way behind or way ahead.
So we have a blocking foul against the Gators. Half number two officially underway. Welcome back in, folks, to the C2C Watch Along alongside James Gonzales. Callan McClurg back with you folks here on the inbound feed. Cougars will reset their offense with 19:30 to go. Half number two. Long three on the way is good. Houston's fans explode again in lusty joy, 34-28.
Let me know when you get to 18:15.
I'm about a minute behind you, sadly, my friend.
Thanks.
The problems of doing a watch along and streams are not lining up.
Mm-hmm.
A three-point shot disrupted as we're down to 19 flat now here in half number 2.
Okay.
So a quick 3 there, James, and feels like this. I think, James, these first few minutes here might dictate where this game goes, it feels like.
I think Florida is going to have more energy coming out. Where are you minutes-wise?
We're down to 18:43. The shot in the lane is a little too strong. Rebound by the Gators. Other way they come. Fed inside, and another jam down low for Condon. 34-30 now in favor of Houston.
Condon with 8 points.
Clayton Jr., though, James, we said no points, 6 assists. Long 3 is no good. Rebound by the Gators, trying to get back within a couple of points here again with 18-12 now to play, half number 2.
I'm here. Oh, there's a foul, offensive foul.
Away from the ball.
Chinyu, number 9, with the offensive foul. I think he was trying to post up, get into position, probably swing some arms. Swung his arm.
Todd Golden is not happy on the sidelines about that call.
It's like, you don't call that over there, don't call it over here.
Yeah, I literally rate the body language, the finger pointing going the other way. I get it. I understand it.
That's 10 turnovers for Florida, 2 for Houston. Foul
on the shot.
Uzan will go to... Okay, here's Cogden. So it is Cogden. And, he gave him a football shiver.
A little bit of a shove.
Sorry, I had the wrong guy.
I didn't even see it happen so fast.
And it happened on the other side of the key.
It was away from the ball, though, which is what I don't understand. It was away from the ball.
Remember, he was running out on the break, getting those 2 baskets. I think he was trying to get a third one and getting rid of Robert.
Trying to legally move the guy out of the way.
Well, that was illegal. Not the way you're supposed to seal someone off. You do it like this, not like that.
So Milos Uzan at the line. First free throw good. 35-30 Houston.
Second one, future teller's good. Wow.
Yeah, I think, James, I think everyone out there is probably just so miffed about Walter Clayton Jr. You know, we talked about him so much in pregame, and he's just not done a whole lot yet.
You'll see a baseline offensive foul on Richard. He knocked Sharp out of bounds and out of the play. So
yeah, it's coming up here momentarily.
Florida just
oh man.
That was kind of a flop too. That was kind of a flop.
I just now saw it, yes.
That was a flop.
So that is back-to-back turnovers on 2 consecutive offensive possessions on top of 2 offensive foul. And I think Goldman is about on the verge of getting a technical foul, James, because he is hot on the sideline.
There's something, and there's a blocking foul on Richard. Yeah, on Richard.
King. Cougars have adjusted, and the Gators are looking extremely sloppy. Back-to-back turnovers on the offensive side of the ball.
Try to get my
hot
camera
potato
on.
action right there.
Thanks.
What do you got for us, James?
My camera's off. I'm trying to get it back on. But it looks like Houston's getting the foul calls, obviously. And Florida's just sadly getting the shaft on that. There was a technical foul, I believe, or there's one shot for Cryer. I don't know. I think someone got a technical
baby. And all of a
challenge.
sudden, this game's exploded, James, to a 12-point lead for Houston.
I'm trying to... Yeah, it must have been a technical.
They're on an 8-0 run now in the last minute 45.
37-70. Yeah, Golden exploded off the bench there. I don't know. One of his assistants may have done something.
And James, I think that you and I, though, kind of saw that coming from a mile away because Golden was ticked not once but twice on 2 offensive fouls called on the Gators.
And now a third call on the other side of the floor. Obviously.
And we actually have a timeout called by Houston. And all of a sudden, though, James, and we're at the media break anyway, so we're going to take that timeout. However, though, things have gone south in a hurry for Florida, who now trail by 12, 42-30, the Cougars on top. This is the C2C Watch Along right here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. We're back in 90 seconds. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Step inside the squared circle with Between the Ropes, hosted by Chris Mabry and Christy Wilson, covering everything from WWE to AEW to indie wrestling and legends of the past. This is your home for all things wrestling, live on Sunday evenings right here on C2C as we get closer to WrestleMania weekend coming up in about 2 weeks' time from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. But back here, folks, on the C2C Watch Along of the national title game. And James, as we said, though, before we went to the break, man, things have gone sideways in a hurry here for Florida, who now trail by 12, 42-30.
Yeah, calls haven't gone their way for Florida, and Houston's been more physical. Leading scorer for Houston after not having a good first half is L.J. Cryer with 12 points. So he's been doing well from the break. Again, Clayton Jr. has yet to score for Florida. Will Richard has scored 14 points for the Gators, and he's the highest point total for them. Condon has 8 points. He's been on those, inside scoring plays. And again, Malik Wilson was 7 off the bench for H-Town.
If you feel like there's a big moment coming up, tell us what you think in real time. Drop your reactions and comments in the live chat box on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. And tag your friends to jump into the chat box. The Coast to Coast Watch Along is live, and we're rolling with you throughout the course of the night. And as a reminder, we'll have our entire national championship reaction live tonight on C2C at night at about 10 o'clock Pacific time here literally tonight. So we're going to be having another program for you folks just to recap the entirety of this national title game at around 10 o'clock this evening. But again, folks, a 12-point lead for Houston entering the after the first timeout of the second half. This is, by the way, the first title game between the SEC and the Big 12 since 2012 when Kentucky beat Kansas. National championship opponents entering with the same record for the third time in tournament history, dating back to 66 and 2006. And 1v1 in back-to-back national title games for the first time since 2007 and 2008. So all sorts of tournament history being made at the Alamodome in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. 66 and 06 with the teams having the same record. Condon has a touchdown of a slam dunk. He has 10 points as the lead is cut to 10.
So all he's done is dunk, 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 no matter what, apparently.
Off the glass, a couple of shots. 4 assists for Houston.
Go ahead, James, and take over for a bit here because my stream is way behind, it seems like.
Okay. There's 15 minutes left. Cross court. Will Clayton Jr. has it all the way down the lane. Fouled. He's finally going to go to the charity stripe. The foul on Cryer. So Clayton Jr. will have a chance to score. Clayton Jr., by the way, had that assist to Condon, and he did the right thing this time. He sealed off his defender to grab the pass and to slam dunk it. There's a break in the action, if you can believe that.
Okay, so yeah, with that first called timeout during the media break, now we're at the official under 16, so we'll step aside for a moment. We'll come back with Walter Clayton Jr. going for his first points of the night after his timeout and breaking the action right here on the C2C Watch Along. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Welcome back to the C2C Watch Along. We're live across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. No subscriptions, no signups. Just hop in and hang out and chat with us during the biggest games and best moments in sports and entertainment. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know that every time we go live. All right, James, still a 42-32 lead for Houston coming out of the under 16 official media timeout here at this stage. Florida, James, trying to fight back here, but you hate to say that. It feels like it's worse than what it is right now, but you have to get offense going here, and time is right now not on their side.
If they were playing Duke, I think Florida would be in more trouble. They're lucky that they're playing Houston. They don't get up and down like I mentioned, so it's just lucky who they're playing that they have a shot. The thing is, like I said, with Clayton Jr., if they could get him off the ball, and they tried it, but they haven't gotten him a shot yet, they just have to try that. They have to experiment their offense scoring a little bit more. They're doing okay defensively, but they just got to get going offensively with Clayton Jr. The fact that he doesn't have points up until this point, Carl loses there, by the way.
I was just going to say, the 9-time gold medal winner himself, Carl Lewis, in the building in San Antonio, as Walter Clayton Jr. at 14:57 of the second half of play is finally on the scoreboard with his first point of the night. Make that second point of the night with 2 free throws. Now a 42-34 lead for Houston over Florida. And there you go, James. Clayton Jr., 1 field goal attempt in the last 18 minutes of gameplay.
That is just something, to not be.
This isn't Patino benching his best player for St. John's, but man, it sure feels that way.
Right.
Off the glass and in, wanting a call there, no good. Or it was good, but no call there, I should say, as they show the Houston watch party on campus. And the lead back to 10 for Houston, who makes a great save on the sideline. Almost fell and wiped out and went into the bench below the playing court.
That's always scary. I hate these things. Clayton Jr. Knocked down Sharp. I mean, Sharp is taking all these dives. It's crazy. But yeah, here's the replay of Roberts.
Florida, and there is wow, man, I just saw that in real time.
Roberts, I don't know how he made that.
Jr. ran him over right at the free throw line.
A little push in the back, and Clayton Jr. will have to sit down, I guess.
I agree, man. Gators right now, James, cannot hit a shot from the broad side of a barn right now at this time.
The first free throw is good of the 1-and-1 by Sharp.
Yeah. And that is a huge point, James. I'm glad you brought that up as I just now got the first free throw to fall. 7 fouls now on Florida. So regardless, James, that is now free throws for the remainder of the game.
Second one no good.
14:07 of the second half of play as Emmanuel Sharp tries to go a perfect 2 for 2 here and to further pad the Houston lead.
Didn't get it. But, yeah, that's big going down the stretch
and
here.
the thing I always hear, James, you have to play defense without fouling. And that is going to be a big point of emphasis. I'm sure Golden will have to tell his team now at this rate.
Loose ball foul after a three-pointer on Sharp. So stay here with Florida. Houston now with 4 fouls. Something to look forward to. Clayton Jr., as you mentioned, Luis sitting down, Luis Jr. Now Clayton Jr. sitting down.
And I don't know if that's a recipe for success right now for Florida. You kind of need that star player to be in there.
Oh, there's an official review.
So the officials are going to review last possession.
He pulled his arm.
I'm wondering if they're going to review though for who the foul's actually on. It looks like
it's not a basketball play. No, it's Roberts pulling Condon's arm inside.
I got the replay. So we got a bit of an arm bar holding the arm of Condon.
And there was a play similar in the Final Four, I think, and they called it a flagrant 1. They upgraded it.
And then the player coming in late for the loose ball. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that, James.
Is it a common foul, you think?
Is it a common or is it a flagrant? I mean, it...
Okay, technically by the rule, it's a flagrant 1, but for me, that's common.
I think it's common unless he has him by the arm, James, and then he does a 2-point takedown like in wrestling.
Yeah.
If he slams him down, it's absolutely a flagrant. I think just him holding the arm is not enough for me for it to be a flagrant 1 or even a flagrant 2.
All these reviews in the second half are unnecessary, please. Let's move on.
So potentially a bit of a momentum-shifting moment here in this game.
That's always a thing on these fouls or whatever. If it's a flagrant 1 or 2, it always seems to be the jump start for the team that is shooting free throws. They go on from there. So
that will be something to keep an eye on. I think it's going to be a
common foul. Yeah, and Todd Golden not happy about that either.
Oh, and Goldman's probably already on it. And we think that Todd Goldman is on a tech already, as we kind of, James, were talking about, though, earlier in the half, though, about back-to-back offensive possessions, back-to-back offensive fouls. And we believe that he was teed up during the exchange after the second foul was called for the offensive foul. James, he's got to be really careful about how he barks at the officiating crew so he's not tossing the ball game.
There's a foul on the inbounds by Francis. 5 fouls now in Houston. He tried to guard.
Now they're getting close to coughing up free throws the remainder of the half.
Oh, he stepped on his ankle, but everybody's okay. Ooh, that's
there's
dangerous.
The foul called right there. 13:45 left to play in the second half. A 45-34 lead for Houston.
Aberdeen is in for Clayton Jr. And now another foul on Francis, holding the big man inside. That's 6 fouls now in Houston. And Francis, with 6 points, has 3 fouls. He was trying to seal off Condon from getting the post-entry pass.
Oh, but, I don't think I saw anything there, though, James. That was an interesting foul call.
Just remember what I said earlier before we started. The referee is going to call it close inside.
They feel like now that I see the inside. Yeah, he kind of got hogtied there with Condon down low. So now Francis will ride the pine now for Kelvin Sampson's crew. 45-34 still in favor of the Cougars.
Aberdeen with 2 off the glass, so it's a 9-point lead now for Houston. But that foul trouble is coming on for Houston now.
Yep, Florida trying to punch back here, and some of the size on the bench now here for Houston.
Short on a 3 is Uzan. Offensive rebound to Roberts. He's backing inside. Jump hook is way off the mark. Condon with the rebound. Aberdeen takes it across the timeline. 12:48 to go in the second half. Condon with it. He'll come around, give it to Martin. He'll take a straightaway 3 and hits. It's only a 6-point lead now for Houston. Florida chopped in their way back.
Maybe calls a timeout here pretty soon.
Maybe if they score again, but he's not doing it yet. 12:25 to go. Wilson to Cryer. He'll give it inside to... The hell is that? Oh, Tugler. He's back in the game.
Had a decent first half.
Cryer blocked by Hogg on a 3-point attempt. Hogg all the way, layup, good on the foul. They are within 4.
And all of a sudden, Florida's back within 4. 12:06 now to play. Here come the Gators.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
Cryer tried a 3 being double teamed, and it led to a block and a fast break the other way.
And now, James, all of a sudden, one wonders if Golden getting the technical foul maybe has kind of finally got the offense going here for Florida and just kind of sparked his team in some way.
I know it helps, the big coaches. It really does. I believe there's a break in the action with 12:06 to go. Houston up 45-41. One shot coming to Hogg and Florida.
And the Gator faithful are now in a frenzy at the Alamodome. Yeah, they are going wild. We are, though, at a break in the action. All of a sudden, a 4-point lead for Houston. We're back in a moment right here on the C2C Watch Along. Don't go away. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. You're watching the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network's Watch Along. Stay connected and never miss a moment by following us on social media. Catch highlights, show updates, behind-the-scenes content, and much more by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Coast to Coast Entertainment Network on your favorite platforms and join our conversation today. Well, James, all of a sudden, James, we're in a dogfight now here in San Antonio with the lead for the Cougars down to just 4 with an and one try coming up here momentarily.
Yeah, defensively, the Gators have, chomped on anything Houston was trying to do recently. It's up to Sampson now to give them that kick in the rear for the Cougars to get going here. We've seen some turnovers go the opposite way now. And that was a big one right there, leading to and one for Florida. Hogg using his size there. Cryer tried to go around the screen to shoot that 3, but Florida with the scoring run here, just doing a great job here, penetrating zoom action, as they call it, around the screen and getting an open look for 3. And then the block, like I mentioned, with Richard, getting it back to Hogg for the and one.
That was a tough finish, by the way, for him to make that shot. By the way, James, I moved my phone. So I think we're going to be on the same path now here for the remainder of the ball game.
Sounds like it.
So 45-41, Houston on top. Again, the stats right now, though, still showing a 12-3 turnover disadvantage for Florida, who really came apart at the seams earlier in the half, but now all of a sudden they're punching back here. And now here is the and one try for Thomas Hogg, trying to make this a 3-point game. Once more, the free throw is good. 45-42, 12:06 left to play, second half.
This is coming down to the wire here almost, but everybody back in the lineup. They're hoping Wilson can spark him for Houston here. Sharp takes a 3, in and out. Rebound, Will Clayton Jr. back in the game.
And now all of a sudden, here come the Gators trying to tie this game or take the lead.
Clayton Jr. looked like he was going to shoot 3. 8-0 run for Florida here in the last 145.
Aberdeen for 3. No. Yeah. So thankfully we're on the same path now, James. Thank goodness. About time. We're on We are finally synced up here with our streams. Here's a three-corner
Cryer,
three-pointer
baby.
on the way. Is good from Cryer. Huge basket right there for Hughes, who had to have it, and they got it.
Everybody taking threes now. Cryer with 15, 5 for 12 from the field, 4 for 10 from downtown. Okay,
So the lead
Aberdeen
back
with
to
it.
6 for Houston.
Double
11-11 to play.
drive. Inside. Ooh, foul. Yeah, late foul,
I
but
was
it
going to
was the
say
right
there
call.
had to be a foul right there, and if that was not going to be called, my goodness.
Hand logged in will go to the line for 2, but you see Cryer getting the open look from Wilson, who has been key off the bench. But yeah, Aberdeen here taking those 2 defenders out of the play, and it looked like Wilson reached in there. So Han Logan will go to the line for 2.
40-42 in favor here of Houston.
2
Down to 11
points and 2 rebounds
in the second half.
for Han Logden. That's too far for Han Logden's first attempt.
Too much mustard on the shot.
Oh, okay. Florida's comeback wins in the tournament.
Comeback wins. Yeah, UConn down 6. Texas Tech, they were down 10. Auburn down 9.
Tonight, 12 has been the biggest deficit. Okay, here's Han Logden's free throw. It's a carbon copy to the side.
Boy, oh, man.
Huge.
I hope that does not, yikes.
There's a reason he only has 2 points. Foul trouble, Francis and Tugler, both big men, have 3 for Houston.
That was our point of emphasis earlier on this evening.
And how? Han Logden got the rebound there. Give it to Martin. He'll take a 3. No good.
Oh,
Han Logden put back no.
Oh, my good. Oh, man. How did that not go in? Damn. So close.
But that just showed you Houston's not boxing out.
They
Cryer? No good.
Yeah. Houston's had a tough time rebounding, mainly just keeping guys away from the basket.
Clayton Jr. tried a 3. No.
That was a line drive 3 that barely hit the front rim.
No shot.
So the lead stays at 6 for Houston. Trying to get their first national title victory in school history.
2
Have not
points
been here
again.
since 84. Officially the halfway mark of the second half.
Cryer stuck. Okay, he'll give it to Tugler.
Finally got rid of it.
Got to get rid of it. He does. And didn't draw iron. It'll be a shot clock violation. Florida ball.
That's a bad possession for Houston.
I did tell you that this game was going to be ugly scoring-wise. And it's... Oh, he got fouled. Oh boy.
Baby.
Remember I told you.
Remember that call right
calls.
there of a no call of Clayton Jr. getting hit on the arm on that attempted 3.
Remember, I told y'all, I said, hey, we'll remember some calls that there's been a couple.
Is that one of them right there?
Yes, a missed one, yes. And there's a non-call there.
I think the guy for Florida just tripped on his own feet.
I guess so. Chinyu.
13 turnovers, though, James, now for Florida in this ballgame.
If Florida loses, that will be the topic there. It will say Houston played the best defense at times. Cryer, no, that's Wilson.
Oh,
Jumper,
what a fake.
No.
Good look at it, though. Another offensive board, though.
Cryer, no. We are seeing ugly offensive basketball and a loose ball foul on, I want to say, number 11.
Foul should be on Houston.
Tugler, I want to say, and that maybe
if
his
that's
4th.
the case, that'd be 4 on him, right?
Mm-hmm. If it is. And then you want to see him in the game.
Let's see what we got on the replay here.
Over the back on Tugler.
Over the back and kind of an elbow to the head area, too. So now he will sit with 4 fouls.
4 points.
LJ Cryer, by the way, leads the team for Houston with 15 points, 10 points for Condon, 14 for Richard. And again, just those 2 still for Walter Clayton Jr. That's the first free throw is good. Again, both teams now are in the bonus in some capacity, 1-1 or 2 shots.
I love that guy's name, Denzel Aberdeen. That's amazing.
Just rolls off the tongue, my friend.
Shout Cage the Elephant. Second free throw in there. So back to a 4-point deficit.
44.
9 minutes coming up.
Down to 9:05, 9:03, 9:02, 9:01, down to 9 minutes. James wanted a game to go down to the wire, and here we are.
Uzan, man, the scoring though, I thought it'd be better. It's
A little
gonna be
bit
the
higher, I think.
First 60 wins. It'll be the law tonight.
It feels that way.
We'll
Here's
send
the
a
drive.
tough jumper. Short.
No good. And the other
Clayton
way now comes
Jr.
Florida.
Whoa. Okay.
That fooled me for
High
a
and
second.
low, no good, but a foul.
And we have a
wow.
foul. And it's on Francis.
That's the other big man with 4, and it looked like he got elbowed.
He got hit right in the
accidentally
face.
in the eye. Here it is.
So
Chinyu on the way down. Oh, unfortunately hit him in.
But either way, though, James, Francis now has 4, along with the other big man. So both the Twin Towers and away for the Cougars, 4 personal fouls each, and there's still 8:31 to play in the ball game.
Ruben Chinyu with his first free throws of the night. 2 points, misses the first. It hit every part of that ring.
Not go in.
5 rebounds. Incoming to the game is Terrence Arenal, number 23.
But yeah, Francis and Tugler all with 4.
Give me the last name of 23. How you say it for Houston?
As soon as it pops up on the screen here. I don't think I've seen it just yet. Free throw is good, though. More importantly, James, the lead's down to 3 for Houston.
Southern names. I was hoping for this. Just give me a close one. I can understand when it's ugly, when it's a championship, you hesitate or you don't make your shots, you don't get in your rhythm of your game, and you start playing their game. Here's Roberts out of control, out of bounds. It'll be off of Florida.
Still going to stay with Houston.
7 on the shot clock. Got to go here. Here's Roberts. Yeah, he had no shot here. He was trying to create, and then the double team
job
came.
Though by 15 to close in tight space right there.
Martin got in there to disrupt from behind. 7 on the shot clock. Roberts gets it from the inbound. A good play, but they missed.
All the way now comes Florida. Down to 8 to play in the second half.
This is where Clayton Jr.'s got to go here. There it is. He got it, and the foul. Florida within 1. Clayton Jr. finally with the field goal.
To tie the ball game, but we are, though, at another timeout.
Finally, Clayton Jr.
Clayton Jr., you probably said, though, James, like you were saying, coming alive at the right time. Casey, we agree. Even though been sloppy, we got a game now all of a sudden. Gators are getting on a run and only down 4 at a time. Wow. Well, we'll take that time or take that time out with them. Come on back. Why not? C2C Watch Along here. Rolls on in a moment. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. Wrap up the day that was and weekend that was with yours truly, Callan McClurg, and that man, James Gonzales, every Monday night on C2C at night, a late-night mix of headlines, hot takes, and off-the-wall debates from the world of sports and beyond. From buzzer beaters to bizarre news stories, they cover it all weeknights at 10 p.m. every Monday on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. We'll have a full recap of tonight's game between Florida and Houston. Welcome back in, though, folks, to the C2C Watch Along alongside James Gonzales. Callan McClurg back with you folks here in San Diego. We, James, have a potential tie game in the waiting here, perhaps, as the Gators have clawed back and are within 1 here in striking distance of Houston. James, what has changed, though, so far in these last few minutes of gameplay? Florida finally getting shots to fall, or Houston kind of in a way starting to get a little bit lackadaisical?
You definitely have both happening. Florida running their offense a little better. You're hoping, if you're Florida, Clayton Jr. comes alive here. And for Houston, you feel like they're unraveling, especially on offense. They're not getting good shots. They're fouling more. And that's why you see Florida with the 2 shots now, rest of the way. You could definitely see, though, that Florida, the momentum's kind of shifted to them. But it could change. It could definitely change here. But we'll see with this free throw if Clayton Jr. ties it.
So we are down to 7:54 to play in the game. Keep in mind, by the way, too, James, 1 timeout left for Houston. They have 1 left for the game with 7:54 to play in a 1-point ball game here at the Alamodome in San Antonio. So here is Clayton Jr. to the line. 1 for 7 from the field, though. He has 7 assists on the ball game. This can tie the game. Free throw up and good. All tied at 48.
Here we go. Look at that. Florida only has the lead 17 seconds of the game. Rest of the time, it's been Houston.
And all Houston. Largest lead for the Cougars was 12 points, 7 ties, 2 lead changes.
Yeah, it's just been a tale of almost 2 halves when you think about it.
Here's the runner in the lane that is rushed and no good. Had the rebound, lost it, thrown away, but it will stay with Houston.
It's getting frenzy and frantic.
Elvin Sampson, though, James, is not enthused on that Houston sideline whatsoever.
They're playing their pace, but it's a very ugly pace.
ESPN.com, by the way, James, has the win prob at Houston 57% right now.
Yeah, it's 50-50 in my opinion. Look at the score.
Here is the pass to the left elbow. That shot is no good. And a foul. And another tech on Florida.
You knew that was going to be called.
As soon as Shanua threw the ball onto the deck that way, right away, that was a tech.
That's going to be 4 free throws, I believe.
Yep.
Or Houston.
2 for the shooting foul, and then for him throwing the ball onto the floor. That, oh my good, that right there, James.
Killer.
Oh baby.
Question mark. Now will Houston make 2 out of 4?
So Batek goes on Shinlu. Now, by the way, folks, Todd Golden did get teed up earlier in this half. So 2 techs have been assessed against the Gators in the second half of play. Because Golden got ticked off about the calls, the offensive fouls earlier in this half.
Yeah.
So now 4
Pryor's
free
at the
throws.
line for 2. Misses.
Yeah,
makes
two
that one.
2 free throws for the shooting foul, and then the technical foul ones, or vice versa. So 49-48 now for Houston.
He'll never do that again. Pryor at the line for the second.
And you hate to say that it'll be a learning moment in the national title game, but
you need that.
That one really hurts though for Florida.
You can't do that. Martin came in to say to chin you, if I'm reading lips correctly.
Yeah, and you know what though, but I understand though,
by the way.
That's a teachable moment, but not though at that time though, sadly.
Right. Condon, I think, is in for
so a couple of subs in for Florida. Here's the 3rd free throw on the way.
The lefty, no good for Roberts. Remember, I said 2 out of 4 for these free throws. All important free throws. I think he'll get the second one here.
7:13 left to go in the second half. A 2-point lead for Houston.
Florida
tied the game. But then, though, sadly, kind of coming unglued there with the technical foul. Here's the next free throw. That is good. So 51-48.
That looked better. That free throw looked better. Okay.
Play down to the wire. We're going here.
Both teams have missed. Oh, no. Houston missed 4 free throws. Foul and good for Clayton Jr.
Good by Walter Clayton Jr., who all of a sudden is kind of in a way waking up as they cut to the crowd at the O'Connell Center down in Gainesville, Florida. Beautiful feed down low. Great finish by Clayton Jr. and the bucket. Tie ball game 51-51.
You got to love that. They ran that play in the first half with, I I believe it was Haagen-Dazs, Hagen Garden, and Martin, and they ran the backdoor play here off the screen. We're all squared up at Trevor Hoffman.
Free throw good, 51-51. Back and forth these two teams go.
I love the offense by Florida right here. That was good to run that play again, and Houston not being able to not defend it again. Cryer trying to do it himself. Turnaround jumper, short. Rebound Clayton Jr. Here we go. Ooh, take that. Nope. He'll go all the way. Layup. A
little bit wild on the shot. Down the other way now comes Houston. No one getting back for Florida.
Wilson,
There's a jumper up and good, 53-51. Down to 6:21 to play in regulation.
9 points for Wilson, 4 from 9. Remember, he was the spark plug early
doing all this too with their two bigs, James, on the bench because of foul trouble.
Going inside, and they're getting exploited.
Nice finish.
Aberdeen.
53-53, coming down to the next, or getting close to the final break of the game here.
Look at that. Florida with 26 in the paint, 18 for Houston. Long three by Sharp. It's good. Finally.
Nothing but the bottom. 56-53 Houston. Down to 5:41 to play.
Finally made a 3, 1 out of 7. Oh, great pass and the layup.
What a fake. What a finish down low by the big fella for Florida.
It's getting interesting.
Timeout two called by Golden. So they're down to 2 timeouts left to play. 1 left for Houston. We'll take that timeout with them, fans. 5:32 left. Come on back. Stay close. Stay nearby. We got a good one here. 1-point lead for Houston. Right here on the C2C Watch Along. Don't go away. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information. All right, we're cutting our commercial break short. We're back into live basketball here on the C2C Watch Along National Title Game Watch Along Party. Houston on top by 1 at 56-55 with 4:20 to play now here in regulation from San Antonio, Texas. Cougars with possession in the lane, up and good. Nice finish down low there, 58-55 Houston.
8 points for Sharp now, 3-11 from the field. Looks like both offenses are trying to just penetrate inside.
Finally are getting going here, though, too, more importantly, after the very rough first half.
Stop shooting threes. That was the main thing.
Under 5 minutes now to play, down to 4:50. Shot clock to 7 for the Gators.
Whoa!
And
a late foul
and there is a foul.
I knew it was something.
Boy, oh
from
boy.
Somebody, I think it was you.
There was definitely a bump in the back somewhere.
Uzan bumped. No, that was Cryer. No, who was it?
Oh, that looked like it was nearly a travel, James.
Yeah, Cryer pushed him from behind.
That almost looked like it was a travel. Here's the free throw up and good, 58-56 Houston.
Both are in the bonus plus.
So that is 2 free throws for the remainder of the game, James, and there's still 4:46 left, and they have brought Chinyulo back. And, of course, he had the tech, James, that kind of in a way got Houston back back in the ball game and back on top.
But luckily they only made 3 out of 4 free throws, not all of them. All right, back to 1.
So 58-57 Houston, 4:44 and counting left as we come down the stretch run for the national title. here on C2C.
Cryer with 3 fouls now. Ooh, dangerous pass. Got away with it.
Down to 4.5 now to play. 1 point lead for the Cougars. Trying for their first national title in school history. Into the putback, one-hand slamma-jamma.
I love when the putbacks
Talk about
happen.
a putback jam, though, James. Holy Toledo.
That was wonderful.
See
The
what I did
reason
there?
you're there.
See what I did there, though? Slamma-jamma.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason you're there. Get it to the big man. Oy. Condon
So the
was
lead
open.
is back to 3.
Shot clock late. It's getting late early. Condon.
Under 4 minutes to play.
Good. Up and under. No good. Yikes.
And Houston going to try to maybe perhaps take some time off the clock here. There's still 3 minutes to play. Oh, my goodness. There's still 3:40 to go. You can't try to do that right now.
Houston, the first to 60. Remember that.
Is it the law?
I said it was, but maybe it's 70. Nah, I'm good with 60.
3.5 minutes now to play.
They
Good
got to
little
get better
feed on top.
spacing. I stepped out.
And he steps out of bounds driving in, and that will take us to the final break of regulation.
Thank
Do
God.
not go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. Please don't go away. We're down to the last 3:24 of regulation. Houston leads by 3. We're back in a moment here on the C2C Watch Along. Don't go away. This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information. If you think a big moment is coming up, tell us what you think in real time. Drop your reactions and comments in the live chat box on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, and tag your friends to jump in. The Coast to Coast Watch Along is live, and we're rolling with you all night long, and we literally and figuratively are, because coming up, folks, tonight at 10 p.m. will be a special C2C at night with myself and James to recap the national title game. We'll come back with you folks here after a hour or two break in the action to come back and recap the game in its entirety and talk some other burning sports headlines too as well. So, James, we're down to 3:24 to play in regulation, a 3-point lead for Houston. Florida, man, a lot of credit for them to be able to punch back after being down by as many as 12 points in this ball game.
Man, it's just going to come down to who scores, basically, and who doesn't turn over the ball. And then the foul trouble with the big men, and Florida's kind of penetrating that. You can see Houston's going to try to do it from the outside with Cryer. It's going to be a technical last couple of minutes here. It's going to be something. But Florida, they've done their job. They've outscored Houston 27-18 in the last 12 minutes to get themselves back in the game. And they've done it with defense. They've done it with penetration and making layups and the cut plays, the backdoor play that I like right there. They've done it well. So Florida only down 3 here with 3:24 to go. Chin-Yu and Aberdeen on the bench there. So the starters are back in.
So a quick note. Florida has one more foul to give before it becomes 2 free throws for the remainder of the game. They're at 9 fouls, so one more to give for it to be 2 free throws as we're down to 3:24 to play. And what is a 60-57 lead for the Cougars. Here is the inbound in for Florida. trailing by 3. Long 3 on the way for the tie. It's good. All tied at 60 from that man, Walter Clayton Jr.
I love that name.
Down to 3:05 to play now in regulation.
11 points for Clayton Jr.
After a first half, James, where he was shut out for a whole
Finally
half.
got a 3 to be good. And it's the 62nd straight game.
Record.
Yep, with a 3 made. That's the
62
new style.
consecutive games with a made 3-pointer for Clayton Jr. Shot clock
5
down
on
to
the
6.
clock.
Down to 5. Down to 4.
Fryer.
Here's the shot.
Oh, he got his own tip in.
Tip in.
That is man among trees right there, tipping the ball in.
Back up by 2. 19 points for L.J. Cryer. Into the lane.
Ooh.
Long 3 is off the side of the rim.
Wow, that should be a foul, and it is.
And it's, yes. Foul was called for the shot.
No, that's 2 free throws.
And so it will be free throws as Houston is over the limit already with 10 plus fouls.
Good screen in action to get Clayton Jr. open there. And look at Cryer. Look at that. He volleyballed it in to get the
he literally did.
Shot in.
And yes,
among all those tall
by the way,
guys.
yeah, James, real quick. That is, in fact, 62 straight games for Walter Clayton Jr. making the 3-pointer. 62 consecutive ball games making a 3. First free throw was good. It's 62-61. We're down to 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. Florida has 2 timeouts, 1 left for Houston. Second free throw is good. It almost rolled out, and we're tied again at 62.
Everybody getting loud. Everybody nervous. Wow.
Even I am. 11 ties in the ball game. 2 lead changes.
And there's
Cougars
a foul
led by as many as 12.
Roberts will go to the line for 2.
2:05 now to play. Casey King. This game has become a good one and nerve-wracking. I mean, I'm about ready to stand up and start calling the game like I would if I was doing a game at USD or PLNU right now at this rate. So that is the 10th foul now on Florida. Just to reset, that's now 10 fouls on Florida. So it's going to be 2 free throws rested away for both teams.
Tugler was fouled inside.
Tugler will be at the line. 2:05 left to play. Again, the Cougars are gunning for their first national title. They got there with Fee Slam at Jamma back in '84, but could not pull off the victory. The Gators trying for their first national title since 2007 and their 3rd one in school history. 63-62, the foul or the free throw was good.
He's the one that made the critical 2 in the Duke game, just shooting 54%. 1 out of 1. 1 out of 2.
Clanks the second one, and that could be ginormous. Down to 2 minutes to play in regulation.
Long 3. No.
Is off the back rim and flying in for the rebound. There is Houston, who can now, I think, James, try to milk some of the clock here at this time.
Still got to get a basket and drive at.
Still got to get a basket. That's where we're at here. Down to 1:41 to play. 1 point lead for Houston.
Ooh, great defense.
Triple team greeting. Looked like Cryer out there on top of the logo.
Long block.
Long 3 was disrupted again. It's going to trickle out of bounds and go back
to Houston.
4.3
to go. They got to get a shot off. Look for Cryer. Look at
Yeah, Casey, you and James both stop taking the threes.
We just see the game better.
Down to 1:28. Now 4 seconds are left on the shot clock.
Richard with that block there. And here's Cryer. You knew he was going to get the ball. The floater with one hand, no good. Rebound.
No good. Rebound attempt. A big
the
offensive
ball,
rebound.
That should be off Houston. Yeah, that's Florida's ball.
Thrown like 5 rows deep. It's out of bounds. And even Kelvin Sims says, hang on to the ball.
They're going to review it. They're going to review it.
He wants to review, but you can't challenge in college basketball, sadly.
Isn't that automatic
what happens here on the replay. Loose ball. Got it back.
What the
That's
hell
off Houston.
was that?
That's off Houston.
That's what I think. It was off his arm. Yeah, off his hand.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that is totally off the Cougars.
In the city of space. Off the city of space. That floated like it was on the moon.
So here is the review. Officially called for. Yeah, that's totally off of the Houston player. Just kind of
I don't think I've ever seen I've never seen a loose ball go out like that. That's like
this
nobody
should be
having the ball.
This really, James, should be a very academic call that it goes off of the Cougars and out of bounds and go back to Florida.
It should be fast. What's that system tennis uses?
The Hawkeye system?
Yeah. It should be this fast. Come on.
And I believe that the NFL is going to go that route, I want to say, next year for the first downs, I want to say.
But the preseason last year, it took 2 to 3 minutes, and then they got rid of it. So I'm worried about that.
So I believe the ruling on the floor is Florida basketball. All right.
If not.
Let's reset. 91 seconds left to play in regulation. Houston 63, Florida 62. Both teams are out of fouls. They cannot foul. If they do foul, it will, in fact, be free throws for the remainder. It is free throws for the rest of the ball game. Cougars lead by 1, trying for their first national title after getting there back in 1984 with Hakeem and Fee Slamma-Jamma. Here's the inbound play. Clayton Jr. into the lane. Trying to get loose as Condon. Put it up. No good. Rebound fought for by a pair. It careens out to the Cougars, and now they can really drain some clock here, James. My goodness.
Full 35.
Down to 1 minute to play in regulation. Would you want it any other way if you're a Cougars fan or a Gators fan?
Oh!
Inside and stolen. Florida pushing tempo.
That's 5 fouls on Tugger. He's out of the game.
So there's the whistle and the foul. 46.5 seconds now left to play in regulation.
Hit the road, Jack.
Keep in mind again that Florida has 2 of their timeouts left and the Cougars only have 1.
5 points for Tugler tonight.
Critical free throws here for the Gators, trying to come back from the dead of being down 12 and to pull out a snatch and grab special in San Antonio. Free throw good, tie ball game, 63-63. So again, Francis fouling out for Houston.
No, Dougler.
Or Tugler fouling out, I should say, for Houston. My apologies. Second free throw, good. Florida back on top, 64-63. It's their first lead since they were up 8-6 all the way back in the first half of play. They will go to a timeout as Florida calls a timeout. And, James, that win probability on ESPN.com just flipped from Houston to Florida, 53.1%.
I don't follow that because anything can happen.
So we'll keep things right here for this timeout. Again, folks, if you think that a big moment is coming up in this ball game, tell us what you think in real time. Drop those reactions and comments into the live chat box on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. Tag your friends to jump in. The C2C Watch Along is going on right now, and will be going on until we have ourselves our national champion.
Callan, let me tell you who's going to get the ball.
Who do you think gets the ball here?
LJ Cryer. You know he's the most offensive person. What does he have? 17, 18 points tonight. You know that they're gonna get the ball to him hopefully, and he's gonna 19 points for Cryer. So you know they're gonna go with him and he's gonna drive the lane here.
I'd love to stand, but then I would be like you would not be able to see me if that was the case, that I have to like squat here. But you know what? I'll do my best. I'll do my best. This is literally what happens when I call games and we're in crunch time late. Kind of stand up. Okay. All right, here we go for all the marbles. Down to 43 seconds. Florida leads here by 1. Down to 37 seconds.
Get the ball back to Cryer. What are we doing?
Down to 15 on the shot clock. In a lot of traffic.
Double teamed out off of Houston.
The ball is out of bounds. Oh, the
Florida
Cougars
ball.
turn it over.
They're going to review that too. Let's see the first replay.
Oh,
and
my goodness, they are going to review it. Oh, that is. Oh, man, that is borderline right there. Did it graze the pant leg?
A sharp. Remember, the call was Florida's
The call
ball.
on the floor was off of Houston. I think, James, it's going to stand.
If you don't have any evidence overturning it, you got to go Florida. Yes, Florida ball.
No.
But it's close. But it's off
it
the
is
knee.
Really close.
Yeah, it's off the knee of Sharp, off the right knee.
Oh,
Florida ball.
Oh, my goodness. And that's going to be a back-breaking turnover.
Now you got to foul right away.
You got to foul right away.
Well, you try to get the steal in 3 seconds.
I think you try for the steal. If you don't get it, then you got to foul.
Yeah, in 3 seconds. You try to steal, but then you got to foul.
64-63, 26.5 left to play in regulation. The Cougars were up 12.
And the referee,
I think they're making the official ruling here in a moment. They're still kind of conversing with the officiating crew about maybe one more angle, one more look at what is going on.
Both teams with 1 timeout left, by the way. Yeah, that's off of
that's off Sharp. I don't see how else it's off of. Yeah, that is definitely off of Emmanuel Sharp. And
they were looking at the right hand of Richard, but I don't think it was off of him.
Calling the floor is going to be Florida basketball.
That's big now for Houston.
That is a bad stroke of luck for the Cougars.
I'll tell you what, you're a defensive team. You better show it right here with trapping someone in the corner and making them throw a bad pass.
Like Virginia and Furman, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think we saw that in the Florida Auburn game or the Duke game. We saw that this weekend. Or at least I did. Where somebody
here we go. Got to go link to the floor to get the ball in. And there is the quick inbound.
Foul. He threw it away. Oh,
he
got
the ball away.
Ooh, they got fouled.
And then they foul. What is going on?
He couldn't get the ball, so they had to foul. Oh,
they
that was
had
such
to
a
foul,
pass.
But the ball was there for the taking, and no one got there in time for Houston.
Clayton Jr.
That was almost a giveaway. And then there's the foul in the attacking front court.
Ooh, Florida got away with it. 2 shots for Aberdeen.
So free throws here now for Aberdeen. Critical free throws. First one on the way. Yep. No good.
Too far.
No good.
Don't leave that open.
63, but score remains.
Don't leave the door open. Duke did to Houston on Saturday.
19.7 seconds to play.
6 points for Aberdeen. Shoots 70%. And you can kind of tell it's hit or miss here.
This one is crucial. Free throw for Aberdeen is good. 65-63. Final timeout is going to be called, I believe, here by Houston.
Yeah.
Subbing first, and now they're going to call the timeout.
Houston's timeout.
So Houston officially now out of timeouts for the ball game. We're going to keep things right here. They're going to go to commercial break. We're going to keep things right here.
Okay, you got to get Cryer the ball, Callan, again.
You have to. I don't see how else she can't get in the ball.
They didn't the last time, and it really hurt them. Instead, they had Sharp have the ball, and it went off his knee. This time, you got to go with your meal ticket. If he has to shoot a 3, whatever. You get it. You keep the ball in his hands.
It's got to be Cryer. I don't who else can you go to if you're Houston? You have one of your big men who's already fouled out of the game.
And you make sure you score, or you try to score within. You try to get a shot up with at least
enough time to get a rebound and put it back up.
Put it back in.
Maybe get a foul call. Maybe get a foul call. You never know, though, with it being where it's at with time on the clock.
You know what I want is overtime. So, you try to get a shot up with at least 7 seconds, and you're hoping for a tip or one of your what's the big guy's name? You're trying to get him the ball. Roberts, number 13. Whew.
Oh, baby. Okay, we'll do a quick reset, folks. Gators lead by 2, 65-63. The Gators have 1 timeout. Houston is out of timeouts. Both teams are in the bonus, double bonus for 2 free throws for the remainder of the ball game. If the game goes to OT, the foul count would not reset. So here we go. Full length of the floor for Houston. Trailing by 2.
Here we go. Cryer with it.
Here comes LJ Cryer. Cougars down 2, leading by as many as 12 earlier in the ballgame. Inside feed, it's still on top.
Gotta go.
Got to get something going here.
Trouble.
They fake the three. Still, the ball's still loose.
Hell?
Still loose, and that's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. The Cougars never got a shot off at the end, and the Florida Gators, for the first time since 2007, Florida is the national champions of men's basketball in 2025. What did we just see?
Can I explain it? Because I saw it, but I still can't believe it.
I'm flabbergasted at what we just witnessed.
What did I say for them to score?
You had to
Keep
get
the
a
ball.
shot early, hope that you can get a rebound with time on the clock to at least try to force overtime.
They did none of that, along with having Cryer have the ball all the way.
And not
Okay,
just that,
here's
James.
the
But not just that, James.
replay.
How do 3 guys get around the basketball and they just stall the offense at the midcourt logo?
I thought that was going to be a travel by Sharp.
And then they fake the shot and then they just let the ball bounce, and let the clock run out. Oh my goodness!
Sharp was trying to fend off any Gators to it.
Oh,
This is the worst way to end a national championship.
what are you doing right there? You fake the 3, then you just let the ball bounce.
Because he was worried if he touches it, it'd be a travel. That's like a high school ending to a game.
Oh my!
This is almost like, remember Georgetown and North Carolina, how the last possession Georgetown passed it to James Worthy. This is almost like that, where you have a blooper for the national championship loss. This is right up there with that 1982 finish. Oh my God. I did not want the game to end like that. I'll be honest with you. And Samson, of course, everyone's stunned.
Kelvin Sampson's reaction, James, tells the story.
Really? We're going to end on that? And Clayton Jr.
Oh my goodness.
Happy for him, but man, Sharp he's going to have to live with that. It's not a good feeling. Man, it just shows you this game was ugly all the way through. And the last play, ugly as hell. That was awful.
There's no words. There's no words, James, about what this ending we just saw.
I gave
Houston had to go length of the floor. They got it into the offensive half of the court, and then the offense just stalled.
As I mentioned, you got to get the ball to Cryer, keep it in his hands, and go before 7 seconds. And they didn't do that. That's why I was saying, what the hell are y'all doing? Go, penetrate, shoot, something. Someone set a screen. Don't just stand there.
I don't know what to say, James. I mean, I always love saying I've been around college athletics my whole life, and I have. I've never seen an ending like this. I've seen buzzer beaters and game winners, but I've never seen an ending like that. Is what's so mind-boggling.
You go to your local YMCA and a men's rec league and might see that, or a middle school game, but to have that happen on the biggest stage of college basketball,
wow. And this, folks, is why we call it March Madness.
Or sadness.
Ugh. Or even March Sadness. But, hey, the one shining moment this year goes to the Florida Gators. For the first time since I was in 7th grade, they are the national champions of men's college basketball in 2024-2025. 65-63, the Florida Gators are taking the trophy back home to Gainesville, Florida, to celebrate with the faithful at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, I would assume on Tuesday when they fly back from San Antonio. James, I'm still
look at Cryer. Oh, no. Cry, of course, sad. Wilson's sad. It was just the worst way to end a game, I think. When you don't even get up a shot. I know I'll have more about this, later when we do C2C at night. What time did you want to do it? About 10 o'clock?
Yeah, we'll be doing that, folks, at 10
Okay.
o'clock. We're actually going to call an audible and just make it Madness Tonight to recap the game in its full entirety. We'll kind of save all of the other sports headlines for next week. But yes, folks, it is official. The Florida Gators come back being down by 12 points to knock off Houston, and a battle of 1 versus 1, 65-63. The Gators, for the first time since 2007, are the college basketball national champions for the men's side of things in 2024-2025. James, I don't know if this is going to be an instant classic, but certainly will be remembered, I think, though, for Florida. Rough start to the game. Coming back, though, and doing what they kind of, in a way, did best all tournament long, and that was kind of, in a way, hanging around and coming back.
No, this wasn't an instant classic at all. This was, if you like the offensive game, it was a disaster. Let's just say that.
Offensively, pretty good game. But again, the way that it ended, it left a lot to be desired, I would say. And that's the unfortunate part about this game and sports in general, whatever the case is. Just a brutal ending to a brutally offensive game that wasn't. It was just offensive, if you're talking about offense. And I have more opinions, but I think I'll hold off till, the show tonight.
Yeah, I agree. But again, folks, what a ball game. This was so much fun, by the way. This was such a blast to be sitting here for the last 3 hours. Not like James and I don't do that enough as is on C2C at night when we sit here for 2.5, 3 hours talking sports, talking about, our off-the-board topics and things like that. But yes, folks, we will come back, though, at 10 o'clock tonight, maybe 10:30, to give you a full recap of this game. Madness Tonight will be coming your way later on this evening. But my goodness, James, I want to keep going, but I need to eat. I know you need to eat as well, man, and just need to take a breather. But, James, let's kind of, in a way, sum this up with some final thoughts on tonight's game and tonight's broadcast. But congrats to Florida, man. Well-earned win, and Houston has nothing to be ashamed of either, my friend. But it does, though, hurt. We saw L.J. Cryer leaving the floor, jersey over his head, being consoled by team staff. It sucks, James. It sucks always, James. There has to be a proverbial winner and proverbial loser in this situation.
I don't know if you agree with me. I'll end it at this. If Duke played in this game, they would have blown out whomever they played.
I feel like that would have been the case, too.
That's all I have to say.
I think so, too. Some late comments that came in at this rate. Casey says, Gators pull it off, and I win my work pool. Wins $350. Show me the money. Let's go, baby. Casey also says, what a comeback by Florida after their sloppy play tonight. And congrats to Florida on their national title. This is now officially, folks, looking through the notes, this is now the fourth national title for the Gators in school history. Again, their last one coming all the way back in 2007. But I guess, James, to close down shop, kind of gave some final thoughts about the game. James, how about some final thoughts on the stream tonight? Again, great to have Casey and Chris and Gabe Jackson. We topped out, I believe, James, at about 8 to 10 live viewers tonight. I'm sure those numbers are going to be very, very much higher as the night goes on when people watch this on replay. But, James, let's hear those final thoughts for tonight's broadcast. I know, again, it was tough to gauge, though, with, you being ahead, me being behind, me being ahead, you being behind, whatnot. But we made this work, and grateful to kind of have that last call, though, of the game as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of there's Bubba Cunningham, by the way. Yikes. That's a bad way to end it. But yeah, Florida did it, and we did it. So yeah, champion both of us, I guess.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, for the clarification. It's actually the third natty for the Florida Gators. And by the way, Tim is a Florida fan, so Tim, congrats to you and the Gators for pulling it off with their for their third title in school history. But with that, folks, that is going to do it From C2C and also from the Alamodome in San Antonio, for James Gonzales, I'm Callan McClurg. Thanks for watching tonight's C2C Watch Along for the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball Division I National Championship. Whether you rooted for the Gators, the Cougars, or hoops in general, we appreciate you for dropping by and for riding with us for the last 3 hours on our stream. Until later tonight, when we recap the game on Madness tonight, stay locked into Coast to Coast Entertainment, where sports stories and the fans' voice live 24/7, 365, folks. For James and for myself, Callan McClurg, again, thanks for hanging out, folks. We'll see you back here, as mentioned, at about 10 o'clock, 10:30 tonight to recap what was a great game, though, for the national title. Again, Florida wins it all for the third time in school history by a 65-63 score, folks. Until later tonight, have a great one, and thanks for watching the C2C Watch Along. Till next time, bye-bye.